Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our studio in Belgrade. Tonight we are hosting the show between Asus RoG Elite and Asus RoG Army. Two teams, the one is coming from Serbia and the second is coming from Spain. My name is Jelena Savic-Rapanzo. Tonight I'm going to be your host, and at the desk with me are my colleagues Milošina Sajna and Danilo Badnjar-Čoda. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing tonight? Are you excited? Ready?
Hello. Yeah, thank you, of course, and welcome to the viewers. We are going to be watching a great show match tonight, Asus versus Asus, of course, and two really great teams. One is, of course, formerly, of course, they have a lot of history together between the top laners, so it's going to be really interesting to see how it all turns out.
Thank you, Čoda. Sajna, how are you doing? Ready?
I am doing great, excellent, and very excited, of course. A very, very epic show match is right in front of us. Two teams, one going in as a favorite, one team we can see slowly building up and looking to make a name for themselves. So definitely very, very excited for this best of three.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited for these best of three matches as well. So let's take a look at the first team, the team that's coming from Serbia. That's Asus RoG Elite. Now on your screens, the names and of the players are going to show up, and let's take a look at their roster. So the first ADC is Dengvo, then support Gentleman. In the jungle we have Kalu, at the mid Baksa, and the top laner is Zeka. Čoda, can you please tell us something about these beautiful guys?
So yeah, Asus RoG Elite. A new team coming into the second season of Fortuna Championship Series, and with a lot of history between players themselves, but not in this specific roster. They are still working on becoming a top-tier team, and it's really interesting to see them practice. Of course, the match tonight is going to mean a lot for them because they are playing versus a pretty decent and a really strong team at the moment, Asus RoG Army, of course.
Thank you. The second team we are going to watch tonight is Asus RoG Army, the team that is coming from Spain. On your screens now are going to show up their beautiful faces and their names. So at the top lane we have Jopa. He is very, very famous in Serbia because he is a former player. Then in the jungle, Ekantors, mid lane Listen, and ADC Sanchez, and support Rafa. Sajna, I've heard that you know something about these gentlemen that are coming from Spain.
Yeah, in fact, I do have a little bit of information. The Asus RoG Army ended up victorious in Season 1 of the Spanish League, and in Season 2 they're looking incredibly strong, already going 2-0. And one fun fact I do have to mention is their AD carry Sanchez is actually sporting a 20 KDA right now, so incredibly impressive. They're looking really, really strong, of course. They did make the last roster change they made is also very interesting, because they did lose Flashix that ended up going to Giants in LCS, and they got Jopa, which previously played for Asus RoG Elite, which make this kind of a grudge match, I'd say.
Yeah, so definitely the first matchup we're interested about, it's a top lane, where at least for our Serbian viewers, because as we said, we watched Jopa and before. What was the most interesting thing beside Jopa on the top lane about this match?
So yeah, as you said, Jopa, really interesting to look at the matchup, and of course in the bot lanes, Dengvo and Gentleman. A new bot lane, and they still don't have that much synergy looking into Fortuna, but really good at the moment. They are still working on the synergy as a whole, as a team, of course. We will see how it will all turn out. What is also really interesting to mention is the difference in style between the teams. On the top lane, they have Jopa, who is playing aggressive, as we said, and he's playing versus Zeka, and he is a new top laner coming in. He loves to play those tanks. He loves to play Poppy. He loves to play, of course, sometimes even Maokai, sometimes Shen. Shen is a new top laner that came into the meta, looking really strong. And I believe that we are going to be looking at a difference in style, but definitely top teams battling it out.
Yes, thank you, Čoda. Sajna, what about you?
I do just want to add that it is a really, really awesome thing to see the show match between two leagues. So it kind of shows the friendship between, the organizations between the Spanish League and the Serbian League, of course. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to add. I would really, really like to see more of these show matches.
Well, this is the first show match that we are watching. Hopefully, Asus is going to provide us more teams so we can enjoy more matches between the leagues. Now, if you don't mind, if you're ready, I assume you are, we can go to Champion Select and to see the first match in this best of three series. So, you ready, guys?
Of
yes?
course.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'm leaving you at the desk with these two beautiful gentlemen, and now enjoy the ride in the first game.
Hello and welcome once again, Sena here, and with me I do have my lovely co-caster Chota. We are jumping right into game number 1 of Asus RoG Elite and Asus RoG Army. Chota, how do you feel about this matchup?
Really interesting, just jumping into the pick and ban phase. I can't wait to see how the bans are going to turn out, considering that we are watching the 10 ban phase, and it's really interesting to watch how teams prepare for it, and they always bring out some sort of a tactic. They want to come out with, of course, the bans on first on the OP picks, and then the target bans come out. I'm guessing we're going to see some Fiora bans and Poppy bans, mostly targeted at the top side, considering the both players are playing some of the iconic champions on their role.
Yeah, definitely both top laners spotting their own playstyle. As said, Zeka does love those tanky top laners, and he does love playing around his team, you know, giving his team what they need. On the other hand, Yopa is more of a carry player. We do see an excellent Fiora and also some other picks in the top side. So we're going to see how those two styles clash. And of course, the rest of the team, I'm really curious to see how Sanchez does and what pick he goes for. As said, right now in the Season 2 of the Spanish League, he's doing phenomenally, spotting 20 KDA in 4 games, I believe. So a very impressive AD carry player.
So yeah, Sanchez and Rafa at the bot lane, right? They are looking really good, and I can't wait to see how that is going to turn out. Zdengvo used to be a top AD carry in Serbia, and of course, every time we watch him, he loves to play safe. You rarely see him going down and getting that's like 6 or 7 above that. Really rare occasions, and his KDA is actually pretty good. It's going to be really interesting again to see him with Gentleman. They started building the synergy, and again, we might see some bans targeted at the bot lane, considering that only Jhin and Varus are in the hard meta, the tier 180 carries at the moment, but still, it's going to be really interesting to look at it. Of course, LeBlanc, Rengar, and Camille, the 3 standard bans, they all got nerfed, and we are on the patch 7.3, so still, we didn't watch a lot of matches on this patch, and we still need to see if they want to ban out the OP champions.
Yeah, definitely. And the question is, if those 2 AD carries get removed, what will really get picked? We did hear a little bit about Misfortune, but I do believe you need a little bit more of a team comp around that champion. Her ultimate can be fantastic if set up right, and that's a very big if. Of course, Ashe is still kind of there lurking in the background, not quite rocking that lethality build. However, Essence Shiver cooldown reduction is not too bad on her, so we're going to see what the teams decide for. And of course, next to all of that, Yopa will have a lot of information about his previous team, and the question is how much the Elite research Asus RoG Army, and do they actually know all those core picks of that team?
Yeah, actually that's the thing that we didn't get to mention a lot. Yopa and Baxa used to be, and still are of course, really good friends, so they both have a lot of information on both teams. I'm guessing that Baxa still knows something about Asus RoG Army, and we will most likely see bans targeted at the top lane against Yopa, but still there is a possibility that there will be some bans going into, of course, the side of other roles.
Let's find out, and we jump right into Champion Select. 2 bans already out, Camille and LeBlanc. LeBlanc, even though nerfed, still removed. It is a very powerful pick. Camille, also, we could say pretty expected. Lee Sin as well. Now, the question is, what will the final 3 bans be? Mazahar, Rengar, Kha'Zix still open. There is Jhin, there is Varus. Let's find out.
So yeah, there is the Rengar ban as well coming out. Of course, they do not want to let Kalu get to play him. Really strong pick. Again, LeBlanc got nerfed. Her passive damage is lower, but still a pretty strong pick. And there is the Fiora ban that we were talking about. They removed Camille, they removed Fiora. And Yopa, he won't be getting to play those, but again, Jace is still on the table. Strong pick at the current meta, goes great with the lethality, and still a flex pick on the top lane, could go on the mid lane as well.
Yeah, the Fiora ban is just straight up a respect ban. Yopa is a famous player for that Fiora. And one more thing, we did mention Zeka's playstyle. He does love playing those tanks, and we all know the Fiora's ultimate actually goes right through them. So not only a target ban for Yopa, but also a preventive ban for their own top player's playstyle. I really do love the Fiora ban. Again, Shen being banned, it does leave a lot of strong picks on the table. Let's see what Asus RoG Elite goes for first.
So yeah, really interesting ban. The final ban from Army coming out, and is going to be Shen. What I like about it is that Zeka loves to play those tanky top laners, and Shen, of course, removes the possibility for rotations, of course. And on the other side, there it is. Jace, we talked about it. It's really good for first pick. It's flexible. It's great for Yopa style, and an obvious first pick for Army.
Yeah, Elite did get Kha'Zix. Wrangler was removed, so they do have a very powerful jungler and a very snowball-dependent one. So he does need a couple of kills. He does need a really good start, and if he does get it, he can very easily snowball the game. On the other side, Army does secure that Jace. As said, Yopa is a carry player. He does love those carry champions. And Varus now, that is probably going to leave Jhin for Elite. Will they pick it? If they don't, it will most likely be banned in the second ban phase.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. They have to pick out Jhin in this phase, because if they don't, they will get banned out, and they have to go with a lot weaker AD carries. And they are smart, they know what to do. Baksa is going to lock in that Jhin for Zangvo. Pretty obvious. Now, on the other side, supports are still open. We have Malzahar, we have Misfortune, and Zyra. So now we have to see which support will Army go for.
Exactly, now it is the support game, and Army could pick Zyra here and just ban Misfortune, because this is where the second ban phase starts.
Yeah.
That I do believe would be a very, very good strat. I do love the Rise speed, but they decide to go for Karma.
Wow.
Something we don't really see that often. Of course, after the whole redemption meta kind of came out of the picture and the whole AP carry supports became a thing, Karma just fell out of favor, but as we see now, still picked.
Yeah, I don't like this pick from Army. They go for the Karma, pretty traditional support, as I would say, but at the moment, Zyra is a lot stronger, and she deals a lot of damage. If we see now bans coming out, they banned out, it seems that this is Nami, if I'm not mistaken, and Zyra is still on the table. I mean, she's really strong. If she can get a Grasping Roots and Strangle Thorns onto Karma, she can burst her out on level 6 immediately. And on the bot lane, we see a lot of situations where support actually has to exhaust the support, because there is so much damage coming out from Malzahar, from Zyra, even Misfortune. When she opens up bullet time, she's really strong.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I really, really want to see J. Smith and Karma top, but it's not going to happen. But we do know Yopa actually did play tanky Karma top a couple of times. Now, again, my heart would really love to see that. It's really not going to happen, but we do see the second ban being a Rek'Sai. I do like the ban. On one hand, it is very, very powerful, especially with Courage of the Colossus and, of course, that Titanic Hydra. However, would that be too much damage for RoG Army? Too much physical damage, rather? That is the right question.
So yeah, I believe that Equinators, he used to play a lot of Rek'Sai. So this is a pretty obvious ban as well. The last ban from Elite is going to be Elise. So they are going to target the jungle, of course, and Zyra and Nami on the other side. So pretty smart decisions here from Army. They picked out Karma, and they know they have two bans, so they are going to go for the standard Nami against support, standard support with the sustain, and she's still pretty good against Karma. And of course Zyra, so they remove the possibility of an all-in with the level 6.
Yeah, I do love the Zyra ban, of course. It was kind of their support matchup to pick, because they knew for a fact we can pick whatever we want, we can remove two supports that we don't want into that matchup. So right now, Asus RoG Army have exactly what they wanted in the bot lane. I do also love the Katarina pick, something we don't really see that often. However, if you look at the amount of physical damage Asus RoG Army already has, having a Katarina as a single AP threat can be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, that was a great pick. But until a few seconds ago, when we saw Zangvo locking in that Malzahar, which is still open on the table, and it is great against Kata. He has that ultimate, Nether Grasp, and of course the silence coming out, so he can interrupt her ultimate. He can stop her when she goes in, and that's going to be really important to watch in those team fights. On the top lane, Zeka is going to be playing Malphite, so this is really interesting now.
Yes, something we didn't really see for a while as well. Katarina coming back, or rather Karma coming back as well, and Malphite. Malzahar did get nerfed. The Voilings actually lose some movement speed as they run away from Malzahar now. That will impact him quite a lot in the lane itself, because he won't be able to just create that many Voilings in the early levels. However, when he does get that ultimate, of course, the target will stand still and a lot of Voilings will show up now. Asus RoG Army going for Zac as their final pick, and of course, lacking a frontline, an AP frontliner is exactly what they needed, so I do love the Zac pick.
So yeah, early game, of course, it's going to be really important to watch. We have Katarina on one side versus Ryze, and if somehow she gets the snowball, that's going to be really bad for Elite. On the top side, Army has Yopa on Jace, and again, snowball matchup. Malphite, he has to wait out and just try to get, of course, the late game when he gets the Sunfire Cape and when he gets tanky. That's the time when he shines out and when he out-strengthens the Jace. We will see, of course, the power spike when they come out and stuff like that. But again, Zac in the jungle, smart decision by, of course, the team Asus RoG Army, because they now have a tank who, again, deals some magic damage, but still, the front line is there.
Yeah, I do love the whole comp of Asus RoG Elite, actually. They do have a magic damage up in the top lane, magic damage in the mid lane, and then a physical damage jungler. And that's something that's been talked a lot before in team comps in general, right? You do want a mixed damage coming in from your jungler and from your soul laners. And the reason why is because it's going to be very hard to itemize against both. So if, let's say, in the other side, where RoG Army does have a magic damage mid laner and a magic damage jungler, all Ryze has to do, really, is get a Negatron Cloak, and he's going to take significantly less damage from both the mid laner and the jungler. On the other side, we're going to have a physical damage jungler, Kha'Zix ganking, with, of course, having his 80 and physical damage, and then Ryze doing magic damage. So Katarina cannot as easily itemize against both. And that's a very, very smart draft phase by Asus RoG Elite, of course. Of course, on the side, having a tank, having an assassin, having a hyper carry in the mid lane, and having that lethality AD carry. So I do really love the team comp from Asus RoG Elite.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we're going to see a lot of snowball threats coming out from Asus RoG Elite side as well. Kha'Zix, if he gets some kills and he gets going, he can again evolve the E, just get the resets. Same on the other side, we have Katarina. So a lot of threats. Both team, they have to be really careful about how they position, the warding control, and of course the vision coming out. It's going to be really interesting to see how it turns out. But this Katarina pick, I can't wait to see it. Of course, smart decision by Backside. He's going to go on for the Exhaust, which is a mandatory summoned spell pick for the mid lane. You can't really go for the Ghost because, again, Katarina can burst you really easily, even on level 3, as we know that is her power spike when she goes in. Lucian, I think he went for the Ignite. He went for, of course, the Damage Summoner spell, so that's a good idea from him, and I guess we will see a lot of ganks on the mid lane, again from Zac and from Kalu on Kha'Zix.
Yeah, definitely looking to snowball that lane. Zac does love ganking that mid lane as well. It's a fairly short lane, but he does have that extra leap, and he can get right into the mid lane. On the other side, Katarina does kind of have to go ham. That's what the pick is made for. You need that Ignite, you need to get those kills, you need to snowball the game. Now, my question will be, how will top lane fare? I do like the Karma next to Varus, mainly because Varus, as an AD carry with no escapes, does love getting that extra shield so he can get out of nasty situations. And of course, top lane, we did talk about it, and we're probably going to come back into it a couple of times. Zeka is fighting Yoppa, and we did call it at the very beginning. It will be a tank versus a carry, and can Zeka just survive long enough? That's all he needs to do, is survive for, let's say, 5-10 minutes, get that Sunfire, and after Sunfire, that lane becomes a lot easier for him.
So yeah, fun fact about Zeka, he was definitely the best top laner in Serbia at about 4 years ago, and he used, of course, to be the great player here. And after him, the superstar Yoppa came in, and he was the one that used to shine on the top lane with Zeka retired, sort of. He went for the pause with League, and it's really interesting now to watch the old school player versus the new player to see how they match up in the top lane. Zeka still trying to pick up the game again and become a top laner, of course, the top tier one. We will see how it will all turn out.
Yeah, and as far as the delay goes, we do have to apologize a little bit. There was a remake in the Champion Select itself. I do believe the bot lane had some issues of Asus RoG Army. We do have to wait a little bit, but we're going to jump right into it as well as soon as they finish the Champion Select. But yeah, as you were saying, very interesting top lane. It's going to be a grudge match. And also one more lane we didn't really talk about. Well, jungle, Kalu does love to carry his team. He's an extremely aggressive player. On the other side, we do have the quite opposite, a Zac does kind of look to farm a little bit before he can get his elastic slingshot and get that range, so his ganks are actually going to be very effective. And the question is, again, can Kalu snowball the game enough? So what we're looking at for Yoppa in the top lane, that he wants to snowball the lane, Kalu wants to do the exact same thing in the jungle, and if Kalu gets a kill early on into the game, it will be very bad for Asus RoG Army.
Yeah, and that's the reason also why I believe the most ganks will come out from both sides on the mid lane. We have Ryze when he tags the target with the Spell Flux, and then he goes for the Rune Prison. The Rune Prison lasts longer for 2 seconds, and Katarina, even if she uses her Shampoo and Flash, they can still deal a lot of damage in those 2 seconds. Kha'Zix coming out with his Taste the Fear and his passive with the slow. It's going to be huge, and Katarina, she has to be careful, ward all around. Zac, again, he has his Elastic Slingshot, both sides, 2 versus 2 on the mid lane. It's going to be really interesting to look out. On the bot lane, though, we have Malzahar, who is going to be constantly going aggressive with the Voidlings, and pretty fun all lanes around. There is going to be a lot of action. on maybe not on the top lane, we have Malphite versus Jace, and there is going to be a lot of farming until late game.
Yeah, I mean, ideally for Yopa, there's going to be a lot of action top lane, but in the bot lane as well, we do have to mention that Zdengvo, a player that did make a break from League for quite a while, he is back now. He did play 4 games now in the second season of FCS, and on the other side, we do have Sanchez that's looking stronger than ever, and as said, spotting a 20 KDA is incredibly impressive in 4 games, and we're going to see how that works out, how confident Sanchez feels, and how good will Zdengvo feel going into that matchup?
Yeah, and of course we have to give some credit to Rafa as well. I mean, he would not be able to get all of those skills alone. The laning phase from Sanchez as Rafa is excellent and really good, while on the other side, we saw on FCS that the laning phase from Zdengvo and Gentleman is sometimes a bit more passive when they play against stronger teams. So the thing here is they have to be careful and not let Sanchez and Rafa snowball them really early. I believe that the late game is in favor of Asus RoG Elite, and they have to wait out when Malphite gets the ultimate. Unstoppable Force, of course, for teamfight is excellent, and they would definitely love to go 5v5.
Yeah, and of course, as you did say, behind every good AD carry, there has to be a good support. Now, I do believe as far as the bot lane of Asus RoG Elite goes, they do play kind of, I want to say emotionally, not really sure if that's the right word, but we did see if they start off well, if they win a couple of trades early on into the lane, they play super, super aggressive. However, if they're on the back foot, they tend to kind of draw back into themselves, sit behind their turret, farm up, wait for their jungler, and once again, that's where Kalu comes in, and I do believe, again, most action, as we both said, will be in that jungle, and can Kalu do enough before Zach gets his items, before he gets beefy? Because once Zach gets a couple of items, those 2v2s are not going to be that good for Kha'Zix.
Yeah, of course, and we have to mention it is best of 3, so even if a team gets demolished, if they lose the game really fast, it's gonna be still pretty good situation because it is best of 3. They could come back in the second and of course the third game, so they have to think about it. They cannot really show all of their cards in the start, so that's where the teams come and shine.
Yeah, so we do just have to mention that the game will start in 3 minutes. The players did remake, everybody picked their champions. It will be, of course, the same champions, same bands, everything. And now we're just waiting for the spectator delay. So what more could we go through? I mean, as said, this will be the first place Spanish team versus the second place Serbian team if you are looking at Season 1. Of course, in Season 2, Asus RoG Army is still first, very, very dominant as well, 4-0. On the other side, Asus RoG Elite did struggle a little bit, but of course, they did play versus Melting Point, which is a really, really strong favorite.
Yeah, Melting Point coming in now as Instinct and a great team coming in as well. So again, this is not a really, of course, the match that you want to show everything, but still a really important one and a good practice for both teams, but especially for Asus RoG Elite because they get to play a strong team as Army. Even though they are a new team, they want to practice against teams like this where they can try out new team compositions, try out something good, and see if it works or not against a great set of players as they are in the Asus RoG Army. And I think that's the most important thing here. They want to try this out. They want to see how it goes against a great team so they can know how they can transition over to the FCS and try the things so they can become first there.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's another thing that every single region kind of has their own playstyle and something that's extremely popular. So right now we saw Karma being picked, which we didn't see in FCS, I believe, the entire season 2. So I think that's another thing where it's really beautiful to see these show matches between different regions and different leagues, because maybe, let's say, Asus RoG Army and Asus RoG Elite can learn something from each other and bring it into their region. So maybe we're going to see in season, or rather in week 3 of FCS, Karma support.
Yeah, again. Exactly. I really liked the Karma pick right before the second phase of the bans. They picked out Karma, banned out Nami, and of course Desira. So they didn't, the Team Elite, they didn't want to go for the Misfortune because it's sort of clunky. They couldn't really go for it. But still, a lot of damage would come out. But usually we see MF going against Zyra. So pretty safe here. They went out for the Karma, and the strategy was great. It was really smart, kind of the same situation as Elite in the second actually week of FCS here in the Fortuna. They went out for Desira and then they banned out Misfortune straight away. So pretty smart movement, and I really like to see how the new teams they advanced and they of course adapt to the new pick and ban phase. It's really good to see new tactics coming out.
Yeah, definitely. And as said, I really, really do hope we're going to see more show matches. Now, I guess I can ask you this, but is there maybe like a show match you would like to see? Is there any two teams you would like to see face off? Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be from one region. It can be in between. But yeah, what do you think? Is there any team that you'd like to see?
I would like to see casters on FCS versus the players. That would be really interesting. the colleagues playing against a good team, maybe an all-star team, and all-star team from Spain maybe as well. And we are actually going to jump into the first match of the day, the show match, Asus RoG Elite versus Asus RoG Army.
And we're going right into the Summoner's Rift, as we did see Asus RoG Elite on the blue side, Asus RoG Army, the Spanish squad, on the red side. Now the question is, will they go for a level 1? As you do see, Asus RoG Elite does have an idea, and they do want to do something. On the other side, Asus RoG Army splitting up and just looking to defend their entrances.
So yeah, the question here now is how the early game will go. It's really important for both sides to establish division, know where the enemy jungler is starting out, and based on that, rotate. It seems that actually Asus RoG Elite is going to meet with Yopa in the top lane.
They are going to find Yopa. Yopa just wards up, and he was there in time. He will get vision of the enemy team, and that will enable the rest of Asus RoG Army to go into the enemy jungle and just place a deep ward, most likely at the enemy red.
Yeah, now they have the vision. Now they know what is going on, but still, a great response from Asus RoG Army. They are on the other side, and they know they can ward out the enemy red buff as well. So the start is coming out. Zeka is actually going to go with the Doran Shield, which is going to mean even more health in the top lane, and taking less damage from the single auto attacks and spells. And great choice. He's going to have a lot of sustain. I guess Yopa is still going to look to play really aggressive. Yopa didn't go for the Ignite, which would be really funny to see, but now Rafa is actually going to meet with Gentleman in the bot lane.
Very aggressive here, and Karma Q actually ended up hitting the boiling. They didn't even spawn yet, so that did look kind of clunky, but we do have to also mention, if you look at the starting items on Zdangvo, he started boots. That's something we have not seen, I would want to say, for like 3 seasons. Now, Longsword is the typical start for AD carries that are rocking that Lethality build, but Zdangvo deciding to go for boots. Really interesting.
So yeah, a lot of AD carries started going out for the boots now, and boots versus Longsword is the choice that you want to go for. I mean, he's playing against Karma and Varus, and he needs the movement speed to dodge the arrow, dodge the Q from Karma. A pretty obvious choice here, and I saw actually that a lot of LCS players talked about it. You could go for boots. It means that you get 1 extra potion, so that means even more sustain on the lane itself.
Yeah, of course, we do see Gentleman here struggling a little bit at level 1, taking a lot of damage, and Sanchez and Rafa, as said, feeling very confident. They did dominate the Spanish team. They are still dominating it, and now they're just bringing it into the show match.
Yeah, pretty obvious situation here. Asus RoG Army, the bot lane from them came first on the lane itself, so they were the first that established the aggression, and as we see, a really strong level 1 now. Great Karma Q. Zdangvo is going to go really low, but still able to survive.
Zdangvo is in trouble. Gentleman here getting some gold. Rafa does dodge the deadly flourish, and meanwhile, in the middle lane, Baxa shoving in that Katarina is looking to go back early and buy that tier.
Yeah, pretty obvious lane here from Baxa. He wants to get the early tier, start getting it stacking. I mean, usually after the cannon wave, you want to go back, but sometimes if you get a lot of damage onto the opponent, you could still stay. As we see here, Lucian, he went for the Dark Seal and the refillable potion, so he has a lot of sustain from the pots as well. We see now that Baxa actually recalled just in time. I believe Lucian tried to stop the recall, but he came a bit late. Still on the bot lane, great aggression from Asus RoG Army. They get a lot of damage onto Gentleman as well, and as we see, 2 pots already burn out, while Sanchez, he gets the poke from afar.
Zdangvo is taking a lot of damage here. Rafa getting exhausted, and Zdangvo will be under Ignite. Meanwhile, Gentleman is in trouble. Sanchez will flash, and that will be first blood for Asus RoG Army. A Q connect and a double kill. Very, very good.
As we said, beautiful bot lane synergy from Rafa and Sanchez. Great team play, and now Lucian is going to meet Kalu in the jungle.
Lucian going in for Kalu here, getting 1 dagger. Recently, he jumped, getting the Ignite down as well, and Kalu will be really low. Flashing, but Shampoo still connects. Lizon getting 1 more kill.
And he gets the double buffs as well, now going on to Baxa. Baxa has to run away. He is going to be fine, or maybe not. He flashes out, but Equinators is going to follow him as well with the flash. There is the exhaust coming out. Can Baxa survive this?
Very, very nice exhaust here. The red buff is still on point, and Lizon is still going in and getting 1 more kill. 4-0 for Asus RoG Army. 4 minutes into the game.
4 minutes, 4 kills. Great start for Asus RoG Army, and this seems devastating for Elite. I mean, the situation on the bot lane was really bad right from the start. It seems that Kalu wanted to go on the bot lane, but he was not there on time, and now on the top lane we might see a dive.
Yopa going very aggressive. Zeka will be under trouble, getting knocked up, and Asus RoG Army so dominant right now. 5-0 right at the beginning of this match.
This is devastating for Elite. I mean, Army is looking really strong, and the rotations are coming out so fast, it seems that Elite cannot respond in time. Right from the start, Cal went down, and Equinators knew that he can go freely into the top side of the jungle. as we said from the start, Jace is a lot stronger in the early game. As we see, Yopa 28 CS against 11, and that is huge lead for him. He went for the 3 long swords, so that's gonna advance his lead even more. It's kind of a bad situation for Army that Econators got the kill and not Yopa, but still a pretty good early game from them.
Yeah, right now they're simply getting overwhelmed. The rotations are so on point by Asus RoG Army. They know exactly where they need to be, and right now dominating every single lane. As we see on the side of Asus RoG Elite, every single member having won that. This one here going in for some damage, but he will most likely fall, not having enough damage to pick up Baxa, and Asus RoG Elite picking a kill in their name.
Smart decision here from Kalu. Now we see action on the bot lane. Gentleman actually going really low.
Gentleman going low, but he will fall. Meanwhile, Zdengvo has no escapes, nowhere to go. And another double kill for Sanchez, just increasing that KDA.
Wow, this actually looks really sloppy from Asus RoG Elite. They got caught out in the bot lane again, and now we see Kalu actually trying to go 2v1. Can he get something? But on the mid lane, Baxa is in a lot of trouble.
Econators is going in for Baxa. Baxa falling really low, getting
shield.
his shield up, and he will be fine. Can he do some damage in return? Zeg going into his passive. Does Baxa have enough damage? Meanwhile, Katarina is running to help his teammate. Baxa using his basic attacks, and that will be one more kill for Asus RoG Elite.
Baxa actually using the AoE from the spell flux when the targets are close against the Zeg passive. Really smart idea, and a pretty obvious one as well. So he gets to keep the double buffs. Really sloppy play on the other side, I want to say, from Asus RoG Elite's bot lane. Zdengvo and the Gentleman making a lot of mistakes. I'm not really sure why they want to go so aggressive when they already lost the early game. 4-0 at the moment on Sanchez, and Rafa with the Ignite. Again, that means that you can't really go for the early trades 2v2.
Yeah, on the top side, we do see Zeka slowly trying to get his farm up and get that Sunfire as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Asus RoG Army, they do have a lead. They do want to just continually slowball it. You do see tier already complete. Yomon was already done for Varus 6-7 minutes into the game. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, almost Yomon was getting done, but still, Gentleman going really aggressive here. It seems that Zdengvo's deadly flourishes are not connecting, and that's really hurting the bot lane now. Lucian is actually coming already level 6, and he wants to get those double kills. The dive is going to happen on the bot lane.
Lucian did get his fire spike, throwing the dagger, going in, ulting Zdengvo, taking a lot of damage. He will most certainly fall. Mazahar will follow, and that's going to be one more kill for Sanchez and one more kill for Lucian.
Exactly what we talked about. Katarina going for the snowball, already coming onto the bot lane, and Asus RoG Army just showing that they know the strengths of their champions. They know their limits. They come on the bot lane, and Kalu is actually pretty impressively level 6 already, and that's really good. But the question is, what can Asus RoG Elite do here? They lost the mid-game pressure. They lost the mid lane, of course. As we see, even though Katarina is roaming, she's still ahead in CS, and that's really good for Asus RoG Army.
Exactly. We did see there's going to be a lot of ganks in the mid lane, but how are you going to gank Katarina if she's not even there? He is all over the place, ganking bot lane, rotating, finding Kalu in his own jungle, so a very, very impressive play by Lucian.
Yeah, as we see already the first turret going down, Asus RoG Army on the bot lane. Karma coming in from the side, but I would say that the power spike is on level 6, and now we see Bax actually coming in. Yopa getting ganked out, but flashing right away. Bax actually, he didn't even level up his Realm Warp, as I would believe, with Rise, so he went for even more damage, but again, flash burned out by Yopa, and that's pretty good situation. Now Kalu has to cover the mid lane.
Yeah, Zeka did ult immediately, however, Kalu going in for Lucian here. Can he do enough damage, or will Katarina do enough? The Ignite ticks down, and Kalu will fall, not having quite enough damage to get Lucian.
Yeah, big mistake here by Kalu. He didn't even see, as it seems, Ignitors from the side coming out. But now Yopa going really aggressive on the top lane with the minions on his side, dealing a lot of damage, and with the item advantage as well. He is just going to force out Zeka, missing the final shock blast, but still a lot of damage, and Zeka is going to force the retreat.
Baxa doing some hefty damage to Econators here, but he will be fine just backing off to his own jungle, and right now Sanchez and Rafa did destroy bot lane. They're rotating mid lane, they're looking for that second tier 1 turret.
Exactly, they have a lot of options now. Army just going for the mid lane. It seems that Baxa is just forced out the farm under the turret. Again, Yopa here with a lot of damage. He needs 1 EQ, but it seems, just let Zeka go around and walk with his shield, so he's gonna be fine. But a lot of damage, and all lanes are losing for Elite at the moment. Army has all the plays in the world to just get in, but Kalu on the top lane getting the kill on Yopa, and Yopa just on the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly, that was really well timed, and as we do see, Econator was ready. He is now ganking Zeka. Can he do enough damage? Let's Bounce goes off, and Zeka does flash away. Econator still follows up with the flash, secures that kill. One more kill for Asus RoG Army.
So yeah, Zeka, his ultimate was not available on time, and good gank by Econators. He also has that blue smite available as well, so he gains the movement speed, he gets the slow, really good idea, and as we see, level 8 as the other solo laners. Great game at the moment, and on the mid lane, Zdengo gets demolished. Great damage coming in from Sanchez and Rafa, and Sanchez burning the flash, but a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, as we talked about it, they do feel very comfortable here. Lucian going in for the dive on Boxa, does have to get out. Not quite enough damage, especially through that exhaust.
Cal versus Econator's solo in the jungle, but Gentleman is coming in. Still not level 6 though, so the Nether Grasp is not an option. He is gonna go down anyways. Econator's with a bit of a too aggressive play, but now Gentleman with the nice flash ultimate onto Rafa. Rafa is gonna flash out and get the heal from the AD carry.
Kalu did flash as well. That was really aggressive, but Yopa from the top lane going to mid, getting one kill, and now Gentleman will be in trouble. Can he pick up Sanchez? The answer will be no. Yopa getting a double kill.
So much action coming in the early game, and this is amazing play at the moment from Asus RoG Army, just destroying Asus RoG Elite, playing like they should have, as we see almost 30 CS lead in the mid lane, even though Lucian was the one roaming, Lucian was the one making plays, and Asus RoG Army, they are the ones in the driver's seat in this game. They are holding the lead, and it seems that they do not want to let it go.
Definitely being 10 kills up and bringing a playstyle, we don't really see that often, but so aggressive, they know exactly what they need to do. They did take the tier 1 and just started up rotations right away. Obviously, Jace having better rotation than Malphite, having that extra movement speed both through his gate and through his form shift.
So yeah, the big question now is, can Asus RoG Army continue the lead that they created? And if somehow this game goes for the late game, maybe Asus RoG Elite could come back from this early bad game, but Yopa now getting ganked.
Kalu going in for Yopa, and can Yopa survive? Does not seem like that will be the case. Just trying to farm up the minions. He knows he is dead and just buying some time for the rest of his team. Zeka will be the one that picks up a kill, which is really good because Kalu already has to.
So yeah, good kill distribution all over the map, and of course Zeka getting the blue buff, so I believe still the situation would be okay even if Kha'Zix took it, so no harm done as it seems in the early game. Great play, and now Asus RoG Army is gonna get even the first turret in the mid lane, so this opens up even more options for rotations. Bax actually recalling on the bad spot. I believe he just went out right away. This was really close anyway, so good timing for Bax.
Yeah, the Hextech Gunblade did go off, however, the projectile actually didn't really hit Boxa in time. He did manage to recall, and yeah, as we talked about it, Zeka is still looking for that Sunfire, waiting for his items, but right now Rafa and Sanchez are proving to be a very scary lane. Meanwhile, Gentleman here getting engaged on, there is the Blasticon. Can he escape, or will he take enough damage, jumping right into Katarina, and Lucian getting his 5th kill of the game.
So yeah, Lucian is like, okay, give me the kill. I will be definitely happy with this one, and I guess, Gentleman, he didn't even have any idea about the positions of the enemies in his own jungle as well. Now, Lucian, he's playing so aggressive that this is actually insane. In the top lane, the only tier 1 turret standing, and Zeka really wants to defend that one as well. Great start from Army. Now, the question is, can somehow Asus RoG Elite go for the late game? Can they get the late game that they want? Now, Bax is getting destroyed in the mid lane. This is horrible.
You can see how comfortable they feel and how aggressive they're playing. Meanwhile, Kalu trying to do something, but Lucian being there, of course, will mean Kalu has to back out. And we do have to mention, meanwhile, as that was all happening, Lucian was on the bottom side of the map. He got a tier 2 turret 12 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this is insane. Such an aggressive play in the early game by Army, and it seems that we are watching a game between two teams. I mean, Yopa just sniping Zdengo here, and Gentleman going down as well. Double kill for Yopa, and at the moment, all around 18-6 in the kills. Second tier turret in the mid lane as well, going down.
Yopa playing so aggressive, and 2 times he roamed, he got double kills, so they're very nicely timed roams. Meanwhile, the inhibitor turret is gonna get some damage onto herself, and that's not quite going to be a dive. That's a little bit too deep, but they are doing some hefty damage to the inhibitor turret. Now backing out, maybe going to grab the dragon, get some items, and just continue the siege.
It's really weird to just look at the top side of your screen and see that it is only 14 minutes into the game. Asus RoG Army, they have the option to go for the Ocean Drake if they want so, but they do not even need it. They could go for the Herald as well, but they just keep getting kills after kills. They get the snowball that they needed, and we talked about it. It's so risky for both teams. If this somehow went for the other side, Asus RoG Army would be destroyed, and we would be seeing a total win from Asus RoG Elite. But Asus RoG Elite, they need the late game. They need Kalu to snowball, but at the moment, he's level 9 and he doesn't really have that much advantage against the enemy jungler, against the enemy team. Really great play, and Asus RoG Army, they know the strengths of their champions. Great roaming by Katarina in the early game. It just gave them a great lead.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult for Kha'Zix to do anything. As we see, he actually picked up mobility boots, which is something we don't really see that often, and he wants those ganks, he wants those small skirmishes in team fights at level 9. Kha'Zix really cannot bring all that much. And meanwhile, we do see some aggression on Lucian in the top side, and he's just going in for Baksa. Can he do enough damage? The answer will be maybe dangerous game is going to keep him alive, and Baksa does survive.
Baksa is going to be fine, and of course with Rod of Ages, when you cast spells, you actually gain some health back, so great idea. Now Zeka is actually getting ganked in the top lane, great chain of corruption, but he's really tanky, and as we see a lot of armor on his side, so that lethality is not going to help you out this time, buddy.
Yeah, and that damage right there that Lucian actually did was true exhaust. So he
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
one-shotted Baksa while being exhausted, which is incredibly impressive, and we can only imagine what would happen to his 3 levels lower friend, the Gentleman, in that Massacre support. He will disappear and give him a reset.
Yopa now going on to Zdangvo and maybe even getting the kills. Zdangvo just has nowhere to run. Zek is actually just slowing Yopa down now, but he maybe even get out as the situation seems. And as we see, Yopa just walking out casually. No, Bax is actually coming in with the flash, with the snare, getting the 8th kill in this game for Asus RoG Elite.
We see Gentleman here going in for the flash, and Nethergrass Tensions will take a lot of damage. That's flash. Use Summoner heal. Kalu flashes and confirms that kill. Now Rafa being alone here for a little bit. His jungler is looking to join him, and Kalu does take a good amount of damage from the Karma support. Can Rafa actually follow up his chi? Nah, he's not gonna complete Tether. Does play it safe, backs out because Zeka and Baksa are coming top lane.
Yeah, it seems that now Asus RoG Elite is getting something back in this game, but as we saw in the mid lane, the inhibitor actually went really low in the 16-minute already, and Baksa he doesn't have enough farm for this game. I mean, the late game rise is really strong, but what can you do when you're losing your inhibitor in the 16-minute? That's not really the ideal situation. Now, Katarina is actually just on the side. She wants to get some kills down, and I believe Cal has no idea what is going on.
Yeah, right now, Asus RoG Army, as we did say, they are in the driver's seat. It's up to them to decide what do they want to take and where do they actually want to go. As you do see, their bot lane, Sanchez and Rafa are rotating up top lane, looking to get that final tier 1 that's, I believe, long overdue.
Yeah, and as we see on the side of Asus RoG Army, Katarina went for Dark Seal. Solution could have the option available as well here to go for the Magi's. I mean, the game is so much in their favor that they need the snowball. At the moment, it is around 8k gold lead in 17 minutes, and that's huge. Yopa just soloing the Dragon at this point on, and I mean, what can actually Asus RoG Elite do other than just wait for Asus RoG Army to make a mistake?
Yeah, pretty much nothing else, as you do see Lucian in the bot lane going for that split push. Meanwhile, a lot of members of Asus RoG Elite are just running around that top side, and Rafa and Sanchez are either gonna have to back off or call for some help.
Yeah, really interesting build coming in from Equinators as well. As we see, there is gonna be double redemption coming in from Rafa and Equinators as well. So that's gonna mean a lot of heals coming out. They have 3 carries on the top lane, mid lane, and AD carry, and they just want to back them out. Great team comp coming from them, and they went in this best of 3, just thinking things through. They know what they want to play, and they know how to execute their team comp. As we see, great early game now. Lucian just going really aggressive, and there is the Shock Blast from Jace. It's gonna be enough, or maybe not.
Perfect ultimate by
Zeka.
Gentleman, and Zeka does confirm that kill. That was so close, but not close enough, and Asus RoG Elite does get 1 kill, but still very nicely played by Lucian that sadly didn't have Ignite in this ult.
Yeah, that was so close in the end, and yeah, I believe Ignite is just coming up, so that's not gonna be good enough for Asus RoG Army. Still a good lead coming in, and it seems that now they are just toying with Asus RoG Elite. They want to see how many kills can they get and what are their limits at the moment. Katarina still 40 CS ahead of Rise, and that's just showing how great of the team they are. Now they go on to Zdangvo, and Zdangvo just taking so much damage alone. Ignitor's actually flashing in, dealing so much, and with the auto attack, he is gonna go down, but still gets the kill in return. Or maybe
see teleport by Yopa, and can he save his teammate? They are attacking his passive. Equinators does respawn, but sadly it wasn't quite enough. Yopa did cancel his TP. We see a little bit of emote BM, and they'll just run out of it.
Yeah, it was a good idea still coming in, but not enough to save his buddy from the jungle. But now, Asus RoG Army, they are rotating in the top lane to take the final tier 2 turret, and they have enough time to actually even wait out. As we see, Baron is going to spawn at around 45 seconds. but still, Asus RoG Army, they could do whatever they want. The turret goes down. This is the 6th turret in this game for them already in 19 minutes.
Yeah, and as we did talk about it before, Karma is giving quite a lot of movement speed to her members. Of course, Jace has that gate, and Varus has Yomumus as well, so that's quite a lot of movement speed going behind those rotations, going away from those turrets. And I do believe, as we did say, they're going to back out after going all in on Baxa. Baxa here taking a lot of damage.
Baxa taking a lot of damage. There's a Realm Warp getting interrupted by the Chain of Corruption, and in the end, that is going to be another kill for Sanchez, 7-4 at the moment, and Baron is the next available option for Asus RoG Army. They could go for it, considering that Equinators is right from the side, and he could just wait out and tank this out as well. I really like the item choice now from Lucian. He went for the QSS, considering that he is playing against the Malphite Malzahar, and of course the Ryze, who has a lot long snare. The really long snare. Just now, the battle continues in the top lane, and Lucian is gonna win that one, even though Zeka had some magic resist items.
That was really, really close. However, Zeka did not have enough magic resist to face a Katarina this sped. And of course, Kat having that QSS, the extra magic resist certainly did help. Meanwhile, Kalu is lurking around this Baron. Will he try to go for a steal?
Can he do something here? I don't believe that Asus RoG Army want to risk this one to go for the 50-50 chance. But now Zdengbo opens up the curtain call, gets some shots down. Yopa just wants to snipe him down, and he goes over the wall, and Zdengbo now forced the flash out as well. There's the EQ, barely misses actually. I believe that would be a kill, but now Lucian is gonna find Kalu.
Kalu is going to be in some trouble here, taking a lot of damage from Lucian, and will Lucian follow it up? Kalu getting ready to get out of there, running in between two turrets. Meanwhile, Equinators here taking the ultimate from Malzahar, and he will be fine, of course, a pretty tanky character, just walking out of there.
Yeah, actually Malzahar dealing even more damage, even more HP you have, so Kalu is on the run now from Rafa. Nice flash from Rafa, and it's gonna be a kill with the Ignite, I believe. There is the Terror coming in, the final auto is enough, and Rafa just saying, Lucian, I'm sorry mate, but I need this one.
Yeah, exactly. He did want it, and we do see 2-0-10. Really impressive, and as we did say, the bot lane of Asus RoG Army is a terror and a force to be reckoned with in the Spanish League, and obviously in this show match.
Yeah, I mean, again, pretty expected, you could say, because Asus RoG lead a pretty new team, and they are still looking to, you know, prove themselves, get the team synergy down, while on the other side we have Asus RoG Army, who are the first team from Spanish League, and really strong, as we see. They know what they're doing, they know how to do it, and a lot of team synergy, as it seems. They get the rotations down, great item choice, really good snowballing when they choose to go for it. And at the moment, even though I was not really that familiar with Asus RoG Army, it seems to me that they are definitely a top tier team.
You could say they're really good at making a name for themselves. Sanchez here taking the red buff, and I do believe Yopa took the blue, so now they do have the buffs on their players, and they're looking just to slowly close out this game. The question is, what lane will they choose for?
Yeah, and also the smart ban coming out from Asus RoG Army on the Nami. Now Kalu actually getting destroyed from Lucian. Can he get the kill? The question is right now. Kalu just going back. He actually evolved the wings, but still he goes down. Another one in the pocket for Asus RoG Army, and 7th kill for Lucian as well.
Yeah, I said Lucian being level 14, just incredibly powerful. Kalu level 11, so it's going to be 3 levels down. Here, Equinators going in for Zeka. Zeka taking a lot of damage. Zdengbo turning on his ultimate, going in for Sanchez. Zeka does ult, but Sanchez will be more than fine. A beautiful flash here will keep him safe. Equinators now charging his elastic clean shot, not quite going to connect. I do believe Zeka is going to be fine.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty empty flash from Sanchez. I don't believe why. I cannot really understand why Zeka went for such a late flash. He goes down anyways. Baxa forced out the flash as well, and this means the inhib is going to go down in, of course, favor of Asus RoG Army. They get the one in the bot lane, which is great for the Baron fight. Now, great cleanse, actually. QSS coming out from Yopa as well. So, really early QSSs, that means, gentlemen, he has less options available.
Yeah, and definitely Asus RoG Army showing how far ahead they are. Katarina and Jace both rocking that QSS, meaning that Malzahar support won't be as effective as he normally is. Lucian here getting exhausted, does QSS and flash out of there. Meanwhile, Gentleman taking so much damage. Yopa picking up his 6th kill of the game.
Yeah, and honestly, they have to look for the next match at this point. I mean, as RoG Elite, they know they are done. They don't have any options left, and the biggest problem, honestly, in this game was that bot lane. I mean, in the early game, as we saw, you cannot really lose that much in the early game. Sanchez and Rafa, again, they are great players, but you have to go for some different options. I mean, Lucian, look at him, dealing so much damage and just roaming all over the map. Zeka is the tank from the team Asus RoG Elite, and he gets deleted in 3 seconds.
Exactly, when your tank gets engaged on, you know you're in trouble because he did just completely disappear, and the Asus RoG Army just looking incredibly powerful, getting their second inhibitor of the game now. Equinator just jumping in and diving the Nexus turret, killing Zangbo on the way.
Now Zek is gonna go down into his passive. Can Yopa TP? I believe he has TP available, and there it is. Now Asus RoG Army, they want to get their jungler out, and they are gonna be able to do so. Nice teamwork from them as well.
Exactly, Equinators did help them early on into the game, and now they're just keeping him alive, taking good care of him. The third and the final inhibitor of this game for Asus RoG Elite will go down, meaning 2 super minions per wave, and that's going to prove incredibly difficult for Asus RoG Elite to defend.
Oh, Cal almost getting the kill onto Equinators. I mean, honestly, Asus RoG Elite, they have to think about the next game now. If they want to ban out Kata or just go for the different option, there is the Realm Warp just going in. Can maybe Asus RoG go for Baron here? I believe the answer is no, but they have to go for the desperation move, and it seems that they are going to start this one.
Exactly, there's no other choice. Right now, you either do Baron and come back into this game, or just buy yourself some more time, or you just let it go to Asus RoG Army, and then you're going to be in trouble.
Zach is actually coming in. Can he get the steal down? There is a lot of damage, but beautiful ultimate by Malzahar, and he already goes down. Nice ultimate by Zeka actually as well, and Yopa just on time. Lucian will get the kill, and there are the resets coming in. Baxa just going for the snare, the exhaust, but there is the QSS as well, and Baxa just trying to survive. There is the shield, the movement speed, maybe it will be enough, but as we see on our bot side, it seems that Cal actually went down as well. He is going to get the kill. Nice one from Baxa, but the big minions are coming down.
Exactly, Baxa did guide that really well and does secure a kill for himself. Meanwhile, Dangmo and Gentleman did use Baron recalls to get the hell out of that situation and just secure the Baron buff. So now they have some time, maybe, but again, 2 super minions per wave. That's going to be really hard to defend.
Yeah, again, really difficult spot at the moment for Asus RoG Elite. Baxa was able to survive, but as we see, all 3 inhibs going down. I believe the bot inhibitor just respawned, so that's, again, no, it didn't. I'm just blind. It seems that, again, Asus RoG Elite, they are running out of time, they're running out of options. They got the Baron, which was a pretty desperate move, but a really good idea in the end, it turned out. And now they have to just wait out and try to go for the team fight. I mean, at this point, Zeka is really tanky, so maybe they could do something if they get the first kill onto Varus and Katarina.
Yeah, we talked about the late game that Asus RoG Elite desperately needs, and right now they're just looking for it. Again, the Baron will buy them some time, but the question is, will that be enough? Gentleman here gets caught, and this is going to be very, very brutal. Sanchez does take a lot of damage here, just standing there for a little bit. But again, Redemption will heal him up, and he should be more than fine.
I mean, Redemption still a pretty good heal coming out, and as we see Katarina going for the Magi's, 0 stacks at this point on, but it all looks really over for Elite. They have to think about the next game. Yopa just jumping on to the sky, is dealing so much damage to the backs of his one of his best friends, maybe not after this game actually, and now just snipes coming out left and right. Sanchez getting the kill. Actually, Ruff is going to pick one up for himself, and this is going to be the win, a pretty good win coming out from Asus RoG Army.
Sanchez will attack the final. He's rather going to attack the Nexus. Meanwhile, Zeka going in. Sanchez once again showing you cannot ult me while my flash is up, and Zeka will take a lot of damage. Sanchez is the one that's going to pick up his 12th kill of the game, so once again, very impressive. Lucian here just diving the fountain actually and living to tell the tale, so very impressive. Game number 1 going to Asus RoG Army, but a little bit more about that in the analyst.
Welcome back to the studio. We are at analyst desk now. So you ready? This was like quite quick game. So the army basically took a quite quick victory. Did you really expect this to happen this fast?
Honestly, I believed that Army is going to win. I expected that they are going to be the winners of the first match, but I was not expecting such a clean and fast victory just coming out. Even though the picks were really good, they were not the problem from Asus RoG Elite. The game plan was the big problem. On the bot lane, we saw Zangbo and Gentleman just losing out to 2v2 in the early game, going down, and right from there, then Lucian just coming down, Katarina with the roam, getting the double kills. Then the thing just snowballed out of control for Asus RoG Elite, and Asus RoG Army really good.
Yes. Saina, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as we did say, Asus RoG Army is the favorite going into this matchup, but it did really take the game by storm, proving to be a very high-quality team. And as we do talk about, if you make a mistake against a team this good, you're going to get punished, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay. What was the key problem of this game for the Team Elite? Did they have just a bad day, or the Army was just way better today at this game?
I believe the key problem, as I said, was in the bot lane, the bad communication coming out from Asus RoG Elite. It seems that they were always one step back, and they didn't really get the good response on the aggression from Asus RoG Army. The Katarina pick was really risky, but it turned out because, again, Asus RoG Elite, they went for the slow start, they went for the Malphite pick. I don't believe also the Malphite pick is really that good right now because you have the Edge of Night, which just protects you from the long range engage coming out from the Unstoppable Force. So good team comp overall, and smart picks coming out from Asus RoG Army. And Asus RoG Elite, they have to think for the next game as well. If they want to ban out Katarina, or they just want to play smarter and get a lot more CC and stronger early game.
Thank you, Chada. Saina?
Yeah, pretty much the individual skill, especially in the bot lane, was the key factor in this game. And also we do have to say that the team play of Asus RoG Army was fantastic. After the first turret was down, they played phenomenally, rotated around the map, used their leads to perfection basically. Did make some small mistakes, gave a couple of kills they maybe really shouldn't have, but overall a pretty clean game.
No, thank you. So basically, we talked about the bottom lane. As you said, it was the big problem for the team Elite. So Zdango took speed boots at the beginning of the game. Did you see the logic behind that move?
Yeah, we actually discussed it, right, as you said, on the early commentating. I mean, he went for the boots because he's playing against Karma and Varus, which is pretty obvious. He wants to dodge out the skill shots, but he doesn't have the damage coming out. And as we saw, Rafa and Sanchez abused that. They went for the early trade, and it seems that even with the Ignite, Asus RoG Elite, they didn't figure out that they have to back out and they have to be careful. They couldn't really win the 2v2 fight because of those disadvantages. The exhaust versus ignite, I mean, it's kind of obvious that the damage is there. You get even more damage, and of course the longsword versus boots. So as it was a pretty good observation, and as you said, it was the key factor in the bot lane and the early kills going down for Asus RoG Army.
Yeah, thank you. Saina, I have a question for you. So we talked a lot about that matchup on the top lane between Yoppa, as we said too many times that Yoppa was our player, and then we have Zeka on the other side. So Zeka is now the substitute for the Yoppa. So how did Zeka hold up?
I mean, honestly, as said, they are two completely different players with two different play styles. Zeka does love those tanks. We did call it at the very beginning, and he's most likely going to be playing a tank in game number 2 as well. He's looking more to help his team rather than help himself. On the other side, Yoppa, a big carry player. He does love that Fiora, which was banned, will get banned again. That Jace, and he does love those aggressive picks, so the lane was somewhat expected, and because of the rest of the map going the way it did, it fed Yoppa even more gold in the top lane, allowing him to just become stronger and stronger and simply outscale all the armor Zeka could possibly get, having basically no global gold.
Yeah. So you got the matchup you expected, right?
Yeah.
Basically, yes. Okay. Who was the MVP of this game? About your opinion? In your opinion?
I would definitely give the MVP to Sanchez. In the bot lane, I mean, it was really great to see how him and Rafa are getting the synergy down and going for the 2v2 in the early game. And just because of that, the early kills were enough for Asus RoG Army to snowball.
Thank you. Saina, MVP.
Well, Sanchez and Rafa. I mean, they
Yeah.
together
Both.
played perfectly. It's very hard to separate one from
Yeah.
the other when they felt like such a unit. So we're going to give MVP to their bot lane as a whole. Truly a phenomenal game. And once again, they are showing why they are such a dominant force in the Spanish scene.
Okay, basically the champion select is more or less ready, but I just want to ask you one more question. Is there any way for a comeback for elite team at this point?
So yeah, the first game was really devastating for them. If they can come back, of course, psychologically and just try to go in the next game with a strong...
As it is the
yeah,
first one.
yeah, I mean, they can go in the next game with some strong tactics and try to go for sort of a different options. I would love to see actually Zeka going for the carry top laner, which we rarely see now. I think he doesn't feel that comfortable yet because he just picked up the game again. So I would love to see that one as well. But again, they have to be calm and go into the next game like nothing actually happened and try to forget the first one. Still get some bans, but try to go for a sort of a better early game.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. Saina?
I think, yeah, comeback is definitely possible. However, Asus RoG Elite does have to pay attention to their bot lane. I do believe that's the key factor. Maybe even get some bans out to help their bot lane and just try a little bit more just to make sure that they're not going to be in that much trouble, especially early on. So maybe send Kalu down there to help or something. But definitely bot lane is the key and they do have to survive the early game.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to see that comeback because that means we're going to see one more game. Now let's go to champion select.
Hello and welcome back to game number 2 of the epic show match, Asus RoG Elite versus Asus RoG Army. Quite a dominant game number 1 by Asus RoG Army. What do you think? Asus RoG Elite, do they have a chance to come back?
So yeah, pretty safe victory in the first game, and now Elite, they have to go with a completely new strategy and try to go for some different picks. I can't wait to see the next pick and ban phase because in the first one, yeah, actually Army looked really good after the support pick, and then they ban out Nami and Zyra. So
Zyra, yeah.
really good decision, and it turned out really good because of course the Karma, the strong early game in the bot lane, and with the Varus they just demolished level 2, I would say, with Ignite, the double kill.
Yeah, level 2, it was pretty brutal, but as we do see, jumping right into champion select, and we're gonna just go a little bit more through the boot start of Jhin, because I feel like that boot start, even though it kind of makes sense, Varus starting his E means that you can't really get that movement speed out, because you're gonna get slowed no matter what. Karma can follow that up, she has 2 more slows, and it's very, very difficult to just use your movement speed to dodge. As we do see, Asus RoG Army being the one that removes Varus, so very, very interesting.
So yeah, the thing about boots, the analysis could go really deep because if you lose the early lane, you get pushed under the turret, so the boots, they don't really help you a lot, and you can even last hit harder under the turret, so that's a big problem again. And if you want to go for the boots, you should go early to the lane and just try to push out really fast, because again, then you have the double disadvantage and there is no way for you to come back. Now we see Shen getting banned out as well, like the Camille on the other side, kind of a similar banning phase, but except the Varus in the first game.
Exactly, yeah, Varus did not get removed. The Blanc also getting banned, banned last game as well. Very, very powerful champion. It seems like not even the nerfs were enough to actually remove her from the competitive pool, and yeah, I think it's still pretty deserved. It's a very powerful champion, and obviously both mid laners are very, very good at it.
So yeah, the thing about LeBlanc, she's really strong in the early game and the mid game as well. She has the that strong power spike, and when you give it to a great team as Army, they could just rotate around her, try to get the early picks, and then snowball the game as we saw in the last one. Rise versus Cat matchup was a really difficult one for Elite because Cat was getting the early kills as well, and now we see Fiora again getting banned out. Now Army, they have the first pick. They could go for the Jace again. As we said, he's pretty good. He could flex on the top lane and on the mid lane as well.
Rengar. Most likely they're going to go for Rengar because they banned Graves.
Oh yeah.
And we know Kalu loves playing, but they're actually leaving Rengar for Kalu. This is going to be incredibly interesting, but they're picking up that Kha'Zix saying, you know what you tried to do last game, let me show you how it's done. He just installed that Kha'Zix.
Yeah, we are gonna see on the hunt, and maybe, of course, maybe we still don't know. But Cal, he loves to play Rengar, and we saw even in the FCS Alien versus Predator matchup and the game, the Jhin is actually gonna get picked out as well. Pretty obvious because the Varus is banned. So Elite, they have the small advantage on the AD carry position, but now the question is, will he go for the Predator?
Yeah, that's the main question here, and of course they don't have to pick him yet because there's no more danger of Asus RoG Army picking that one up. They already locked in their jungler, but the question is what else would they go for, and they're actually securing the Jace, so very, very good by Asus RoG Elite.
Yeah, exactly, like you said, they shouldn't go, and they don't have to go for Rengar right away, so they take away Jace from Yoppa. Yoppa really good Jace player as well, so maybe we will see some Yasuo getting played out this game. I know Yoppa he loves to play that Yasuo, but his team, they don't really let him play him, of course, sorry Baka, and in the early game, but really strong pick. Now we see Kalista actually getting locked in. This is really interesting, same as Thresh in the bot lane. This is really not meta.
Yeah, exactly, something we haven't seen in a really, really long time now. Kalista, after the Blade buff a couple of patches ago, did become kind of okay, and then she got a buffer. Even if her Rend is on cooldown, she will still stack the spears, and that's pretty powerful. And as expected, Asus RoG Elite locking that Rengar. Now we did kind of see that again. Kalu loves playing the champion, and now I cannot wait for the level 16 third evolution interaction in between the two junglers, and you know, who's going to be the winner of that.
So now Poppy actually getting banned out. This is really interesting, and Elite, they play Poppy in the top lane, so I'm not really sure why the ban, and they definitely need the tanky player if of course Jace goes for the top lane. If not, they could go for the Maokai if of course he is not banned out, but immediate Zyra ban, they do not want to deal with her considering they went for the Thresh, so they can go for the MF as well. So Zyra, pretty standard ban and really strong in the support position at the moment.
Yeah, now the main question is what will the final two bans be? Of course, I do believe this Poppy ban just comes from, we already have a Jace top. We banned Fiora, so now we just gave up on having a tank, pretty much. Unless they go for a tank support, which I really doubt will happen, they know that that's naturally going to be a thing. And a Katarina ban as well, that's respect. Lucian did play phenomenally in game number 1, and we did see aggression. As you said, level 3, level 4 power spike, he did use it so well.
So if they didn't go for the Katarina ban, they would have to go for a lot of CC. I mean, honestly, on the Elite side, only Jace is the one who can interrupt her ultimate at this point with his E, but I don't really believe that that is the situation you want to go for with Jace in the team fights. So they would be forced out to pick a lot of crowd control or just ban out Katarina, and banning Cat was definitely the better option. Elite went for that one as well. There is the tank support, as you said, going for the Alistar. Again, not meta, but still pretty good support, and he has a lot of crowd control, and he brings that to the table.
Exactly. They need a front line. They need something that will soak up some damage, and ideally, you don't want your support to be your solo tank, but due to the lack of options and just how this champion select played out, they really had no other choice. Now, we could see maybe an Orianna in the mid lane alongside Alistar and Rengar. It does give you quite an explosive pick, but as you called it, Yoppa picking that Yasuo.
Let's go. Definitely the prediction coming out, and Yasuo is going to be locked in. Now, we might see actually a Diana as well, or Lulu. Both picks are pretty good because they could get combined with the Yasuo ultimate as well. I guess this is going to be Diana mid lane. She's still pretty strong, deals a lot of damage. Risky pick, of course, because Elite still didn't go for... they didn't show if Jace is going to be mid or top. They could still flex him, but I guess it is going to be top lane because a lot of magic damage is needed for the team Asus RoG Elite. Now, the question is, what will they go for? They have the option to go for the Rise again, but considering that it is Diana on the other side, he could, again, just snowball out of control.
Yeah, I think they need something a little bit more explosive. I'm not really sure about the Rise. Yeah, they could go for it. That means they're going for late game. And I do believe this game right now is going to be Kalu's game. If you look at the lanes themselves, there is a Yasuo top lane, Diana in the mid lane, two soul laners that are extremely easy to gank. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, once Kalista hits level 6, it's going to be very hard to gank that, because if Thresh is out of position, he gets Kalista ulted. If Kalista is out of position, she gets slammed out. So even if they're both out of position, Kalista can just fire Thresh backwards, he can just slam her out. So a very, very safe lane in the bot lane. However, the soul laners are just so aggressive and so easy to kill.
Okay, so again, we saw that Jace is going to be actually in the mid lane while we have Maokai on the top lane. Smart idea by Asus RoG Elite. They are going to go still for the top laner. He's still pretty tanky, and Maokai, of course, brings some magic damage to the table, not a lot. So again, on the side of Asus RoG Army, we are going to see a lot of armor. But the thing is, right now, lethality is just pretty strong, and that armor is actually going to be non-existent. Smart idea all around. The Yopa Yasuo pick is going to be really risky. We are going to see if it is going to turn out, actually.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see a kill lane, top lane, basically Jace into Yasuo, and just seeing both top laners go ham at each other, and, you know, Zeka showing that I deserve this place, I am better than you, and Yopa just, you know, kind of retaining his spot as the top lane king, and sadly, not quite going to happen. He will play into the Maokai, which is just going to look to play a little bit more safe, of course. However, once again, Yasuo can get killed very easily if Kalu decides to show up top lane, and if the jungler of Asus RoG Army is not ready for it. Very easy point-and-click route on Yasuo, Kalu following up with great Rengar damage, which we did see throughout you know, Season 1 and Season 2 of FCS. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't know how this will play out, but I really, really hope that Kalu gets some kills early on into the game, yeah?
So yeah, we are having some small difficulties with the tournament realm, and at around 3 minutes, players are just going to get into the game, of course, with the same picks going in. Really interesting, of course, to see if Yasuo and Diana can get the combo in when Diana goes for the knock-up, her, of course, E, and then can they combo it out. It is going to be really strong. They have a lot of damage, but again, as we said, no frontline from Team Asus RoG Army, so it's a bit risky, and the team full-on fight 5v5 is definitely going in favor of for Elite because of that, because of the factor that there is no tank, and late game is definitely the thing that, again, Asus RoG Elite needs in this situation. So kind of similar, kind of a deja vu from the first game. They shouldn't get really snowball out of control in the first around 10 minutes. They should just play passive, go for Maokai farm, and try to help Maokai in the top lane as much as possible, because as we know, Yasuo, he's, again, pretty hard to gank, but if you get him in a good position, the Twisted Advance coming in, and it's a pretty safe kill.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, as we did say, Kalu has to do a lot of work. My eyes are still going to be on that bot lane. Rafa and Sanchez are really impressive. And, you know, I'm becoming a fanboy of these two because they're playing, honestly, perfect. They're doing so well. They're not only beating their opponents, but they're using that lead to transition into the whole map, rotating mid, rotating top, wherever they need to be, they're going to be there. And once again, they're going to be the key lane, and of course, as we said, they have a very hard lane to gank. So even if Kalu understands that and knows I have to help my bot lane, how do you do it when they have two escapes?
Yeah, and again, I believe that after the first game, Asus RoG Army, they saw how strong Asus RoG Elite actually is, and now they're just kind of toying with them. They went for the Yasuo pick, they went for the Diana pick in the mid lane. Actually, if anybody watched Asus RoG Army going in for the Challenger Series qualifiers, they played Yasuo only when they know they lost the games. They know there was no chance for qualifying anyways in the Challenger Series, so they just played out Yasuo, played out the funny picks, tried to get some, of course, kills down, and Yop actually managed to win that game. So he's a pretty good Yasuo player, but I believe it is only picked when they know they can just go over the opponent and they could get the safe win, you know? It's still really interesting to see how it will all go down. And of course, as I predicted, Yasuo is going to come out. Diana combo, if they get it, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, it's going to look very impressive. And once again, the question will be, what can Alistar do in the bot lane? Again, I keep coming as an AD carry player. I'm most interested in that bot side of the map. And of course, Alistar being a tank, Kalista and Thresh both having range, it's going to be very, very difficult for Zdangvo and Gentleman to actually even stay in that lane. Because once Kalista picks up that W, the true damage, or rather the magic damage, will come out from basic attacks of the both AD carry and the support. And Alistar will be in some trouble. Of course, there's always the flash potential. That's what Alistar is most known for, pre-level 6, flashing in, doing that combo, kicking somebody back into your area, maybe even into your turret, and that's going to be the key. Can they do it, and can they just stay at least even in that lane?
Yeah, and of course in the mid lane, as we saw, we have to go for the the early Jace, early pick, and trying to go for the weak early game. I mean, in the mid lane, he could go for the kills. Jace versus Diana, definitely the matchup goes in favor of Jace because he has the range potential and he can just constantly poke out Diana. She has the all in at level 6, which is really strong, but again, we will have to see how the mid lane turns out as well. And I'm guessing most ganks will be turned out on the mid lane.
Yeah, unless you see a Diana running around the map at level 3, level 4. I don't really think that's going to happen, but it will be pretty funny.
That would be a problem, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I do believe the players had some rune issues, so we did have to remake the entire thing again. I do believe in 3 minutes we're going to jump right into Summoner's Rift. So let's see, we did cover top lane, we covered the bot lane, we covered mid lane a little bit, and
the jungle.
The jungle, exactly.
The jungle is left out, I believe. We could again say that Kalu, he is on Rengar, his famous champion versus Kha'Zix. The thing about the matchup is, on level 6, I would say the power spike goes over to Rengar because of the gank potential. It becomes really stronger on the hunt. He is invisible for a lot less seconds, I believe now, because of the nerf, but still really good potential for the gank. And the thing is, one-on-one Rengar actually beats Kha'Zix because of the W, and the cooldown on Taste Their Fear when the target is isolated is a lot bigger now. The cooldown has went up, so both champions got nerfed. Still, both champions are getting picked out a lot. I would say Kha'Zix is really strong in team play anyways, so it's a pretty meta pick and a pretty serious one. Both junglers benefit a lot from the lethality builds, and we need to see how it goes. If any one of them get early kills, again, Snowball Fiesta, and we will probably see a lot of kills following that up.
Yeah, exactly. And Econators, as we did say, even on Zac, he played very aggressive game number 1. So right now, he's not on a tank pick, he's not on a passive pick, he will just go completely ham. And even at level 3, level 4, he does a lot of damage. The isolated target will just completely get destroyed. The question is, again, can Kalu get to level 6 fast enough, I'd say? And can he actually make maybe even something happen before that? As we did say, we expect Yopa to be pretty ham. We expect Yopa to play really aggressive. Kalu should know that. And the question is, if they meet 2v2 top, who do you think would win?
Honestly, on the 2v2 in the top lane, we have Maokai. He is pretty tanky and pretty good in the skirmishes as well. I mean, Maokai is really strong at the moment all around because he has that Fist in advance, he has even Q, so a lot of crowd control just early on in the game. With the ultimate, even then, he's really strong at level 6 because when someone goes into his circle, he takes a lot less damage, and great for the skirmishes, great for team fights, really tanky because of the passive, and again, he still could deal a lot of damage, so definitely the 2v2, I would say, goes in favor of Asus RoG Elite just because of the Maokai pick. While on the other side, Yasuo, he's really strong, but he needs that level 6. While on the other side, Maokai, really strong already on level 3.
Yeah, I think Yopa is looking for that freedom, and he's kind of hoping that both junglers will just find each other top, say, okay, you're here, I'm here, let's just leave. And if Yopa gets that 1-on-1, and if Yasuo gets that free lane that Yasuo players do love, it might end up pretty badly for Asus RoG Elite. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We did cover all the champions. Now, as far as the players, again, it will be, I do believe, Asus RoG Army going into this game very, very confident, and mentality being very good. In, again, Season 2 of the Spanish League, they haven't lost a single game. Now, in the first game of Showmatch, they just completely dominated. So I'm pretty sure they're feeling really good. And now the question, again, will be, can Asus RoG Elite just restart completely, start from scratch, and just come back into this game fresh?
Yeah, and it was really funny to see how they went time and time again for Yopa in the top lane. They wanted to kill him. They wanted, to kill their old friend, I would say. Still a pretty good friend, but now from Spain. And the rivalry is definitely there. They want to show that they are a good team as well. They need to prove themselves. Again, Asus RoG Elite, a new team. They formed really pretty recently, so they're just trying to establish the team connection, trying to get the bonds well, and get the team building going. I mean, this is a great matchup for that as well. As we saw, I mean, again, Asus RoG Army is definitely a stronger team. There's no question about it. But again, Asus RoG Elite, they try to go for the early game. They could definitely learn a lot from the first game because a lot of the mistakes happened, definitely from the rotations. And when you play against Katarina, champs like that, you have to know what is going on. You have to know how to contest it and, of course, what to do against her.
And as we do see right behind us, we are going to go into game number 2, Asus RoG Elite and Asus RoG Army. So let's jump right into Summoner's Rift.
This time around, both AD carries are actually going to start with the Doran's Blade. I'm not really sure why Zdengbo didn't go for the longsword. he definitely should have. I believe that it is in a lot of situations better right now, but again, this is gonna mean some more sustain on his side. Well, Asus RoG Elite is just gonna group and maybe meet Yopa as in the first game. We will have to see though.
Yeah, we could say pretty questionable itemization at level 1 by Zdengo in both games. Right now, Asus RoG Elite just stacking in a brush, hoping somebody will face check it. On the other side, Asus RoG Army feels like they have a pretty good idea of where their opponents are, and they're just really walking into the enemy blue buff. They're gonna get some words down and get some vision, get some knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, at this point on, it's not really that important to know where the jungler will start, because they could just go for the red star, they could go for the blue, they don't really depend that much, and both junglers are really strong for the invades, so we will definitely see a lot of that. Zek actually just throwing one sapling down, and it seems that he wants to help Kalu go for some really sneaky early start. This is going to be interesting to see. Zeka is going to lose a lot of mana because of this.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing here, but I guess we're going to find out pretty soon. Maybe he's trying to one-shot the Raptor camp. I don't think the sapling will do all that much in the top side. Maybe leash the red buff, but we're going to find out in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what is going to go on. Kalu just going for the weird early strats, which is what Kalu does best. And now the red buff just, he got confused. He doesn't know what is going on. And he's like, do you guys want me to fight or what is going on?
Yeah, he's mad, he doesn't know who to beat up, and nobody was close, so he just fully reset. Rafa and Sanchez again going, stepping up, playing really aggressive. As I said, they do feel that confidence, and they're just showing it on the Summoner's Rift. Meanwhile, Yopa and Zeka, I have a feeling we're going to be watching Yopa a lot this game.
Yopa actually just missing one CS and getting 1 gold, which means he went for, as we see, he went for the mastery to get plus 10 gold when he auto-attacks the enemy champion, which means that he's gonna stack a lot of money in the top lane, while on the bot lane we see Rafa and Sanchez, as you said, again, establishing the early aggressiveness, going really deep into the level 1, and because of that, as you see, Stenko and Gentleman just forced out back. Yopa actually taking a lot of damage.
Zeka here going in for some damage, and Yopa will get chased by Sapling. Sapling will explode, and Zeka will be in trouble. Kalu is running to help you.
Wow.
And that's very, very nice. 2 flashes being blown here. Kalu still running around top lane, does have his slash available, so can he kill Yopa here?
If actually Kalu shows here, he is gonna lose the blue buff, but he could get the first blood. The thing is, can Zeka get the Twisted Advance? Yes, he can, and this is gonna be first blood, definitely. Yopa is gonna go down. Kalu is gonna pick up the kill.
Almost getting Zeka there, and this will be, as you said, first blood for Asus RoG Elite now. Kalu did show up at the right place in the right time, securing a kill for himself, and that's going to help him out quite a lot in this jungle race, because once again, Kalu is a snowbally player. He loves getting that early kills, those early kills rather, and he does love getting a good start. Now, Econators, as said, probably going for the enemy blue, but not having that much health.
Yeah, he's really low, so that's the problem at the moment for him as well. And he has to be careful. If he wants to invade, he has to do it fast, because as we see, Kalu is actually just coming in. He maybe go for the level 3 mid gank actually in the mid lane, but it seems so far that already Econators has started the enemy blue buff, and he could get it because he has the smite available. He got a lot of health, and now Baxa going really aggressive onto Lucio.
Baxa here flashing, but not really getting the knockback down. Kalu will do some damage from the jump. Can they can get the kill? Yes, Kalu gets one. Econators here is in trouble. Will just flash out, and he will be more than fine, but this is a second kill for Asus RoG Elite.
Great start for Asus RoG Elite. Kalu just again on the right place at the right time, and going for the second kill means a lot for him, because even though he lost the blue buff, he still got a lot of gold from those 2 kills, and this means he is gonna go for the early aggressiveness. He is gonna go for the Caulfield's Warhammer, and that means a lot of damage and of course a lot of invades in the next coming minutes.
Yeah, I do believe that what Baxa was going for was just a flash knockback towards his turret, but he didn't really use that E right away, and a little bit too late. However, it did end up working out really well. Kha'Zix even being forced to flash, and right now Asus RoG Elite will most certainly feel pretty confident in this game.
Good start for actually all of the lanes except the bot lane, but we could still say that the top lane is getting pretty harassed, as we see Yopa actually leading at around 10 CS at this point on, but I would say that we need Kalu on the bot lane. Kalu has to go there fast. Asus RoG Elite, they need a lot of help coming in, but because they're constantly getting shoved under the turret, they need a lot of help, and as we see Zdengvo, he's trying to CS, but under turret, that's not really easy.
Yeah, and right now what Asus RoG Elite is doing, they're playing around their turret in the bot lane because again, Alistar flashing, doing that combo will always be a pretty big risk, and right now Sanchez and Rafa are just trying to bounce back the wave towards them, so they're going to be pretty safe, and once again, if it comes to that, they can always make an all-in.
It seems that by the pathing, Kalu is just coming into the mid lane as well as the enemy jungler, so we might see a 2v2 fight here, while on the top side, Zeka with the Doran's Ring dealing a lot of damage, and he actually went, as it seems, for the Undying Grasp, so he's really good at those trades.
And Yopa here, again, feeling very confident, even taking a turret shot will be quite low.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Stengo does get hooked. Rafa going in for the trade. Sanchez is being careful about the Alistar. Can he get to the lamp? And yes, he will. That will mean Stengo will fall, and now Gentleman will take a lot of damage. Does Sanchez have enough? Taking some minion damage, but I do believe eventually he will fall, getting exhausted, but I don't even think that will be enough. And very interesting here by Rafa. I do believe he flash hooked because he expected Alistar to flash away from that, so it does make sense, even though it looked kind of silly.
Yeah, it does make sense, but not really needed. Now, Aequinators and Kalu is gonna meet in the jungle. Kalu just getting out of there, but is gonna be okay in the end, and it seems that they are gonna go for the dive on Zek.
Yeah, exactly. Lucian did get level 6. As soon as that happened, he's like, okay, my power spike is here, I'm gonna roam now. Zeka going in for Yopa, who will take the turret aggression, and it will be Yopa that will refresh his passive, and I do believe will be enough to save him. 11 health, Yopa survives, and Equinators gets the kill.
Beautiful play again by Asus RoG Army, and it seems that backside he had no idea what is going on. He got a lot of CS in the mid lane, but again, kill is definitely more important this time around, and really good start again by Army, even though it looked bad for them in the early minutes. But at this point on, Aequinators getting the level 6, getting that power spike that he needs, and now he's going to be even stronger. Kalu, it seems that he wants to fight him again, but on the bot lane we might see some action.
We do see Rafa here harassing Gentleman and getting a good chunk of his health down, but again, support versus support, not too much action. Kalu taking his red buff here and getting closer to level 6, actually getting level 6 off of that red buff, and I guess now he's going to be looking for that ult and trying to get a kill.
Wow, Lucian just going really aggressive. Rafa is going to follow him up, but there is the TP coming in from Zeka as well. Beautiful knockback onto Lucian. There is the Lantern saving him right in the last second. This action is still going to continue. Gentleman coming in from the side. Can he flash and get the knockup? He doesn't even need it. He gets the headbutt knockup. The pulverizer there, and the kill is going to be secured for the support.
Asus RoG Elite showing some teeth in this matchup and definitely showing that they're not a bad team. Very nicely recovering from game number 1, picking up the kills, getting the rotations down, and right now they're going for that Ocean Drake.
Ocean Drake not really needed and not really that strong, but still great situation for Asus RoG Elite. They could get whatever they want, and this means that they're gonna have a lot of regeneration when they are not taking damage from enemy champions. Zeka just returning to the top lane and still gonna continue to farm out, as we see 30 CS lead because of the early roam, because of the TP coming out, and of course Yopa is playing really aggressive.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to point out as well, that Zeka did move, yes, but at what price? We do see Sanchez here ulting Rafa into Gentleman that does not have his Unbreakable Will, does flash the hook, however, and he will be okay.
Yeah, he actually stayed flash for such a long time, and now he uses it just in the last second to save his life. Beautiful flash coming out, but still, there are some problems on the side of Asus RoG Elite. On the top lane, a lot of CS lost by Zeka, but in the mid lane on the other side, we see that Baxter is getting a good lead down, and this Diana pick is not really working out so far.
I mean, yeah, he did get his rotation down, however, Diana is very, very easy to kill. Being a melee champion in the mid lane means you will be in a lot of trouble here. Baxter going for some very, very good damage, and one more basic attack will be enough. Baxter picks up a solo kill.
Huge damage coming out with already getting some lethality. Baxter having to flash out. Can Equinators get the kill? There is the taste their fear, and Baxter definitely tasted that one as he goes down.
Yeah, very nice use of ultimate. The stealth was there just to make sure Baxter can't actually knock him away before he gets his Q down, so very, very nicely done. Meanwhile, Kalu ulting in the mid lane.
Can he get the kill down? Equinators just leaping away. Kalu leaping right after him and gets the roots down. Equinators is gonna get 1v1 by Kalu. Beautiful play, and gets, I believe, just in the range for the leap from Cascus Bush.
Yeah, that was perfect. He didn't know exactly how much range he needed. Does just slightly step into the brush, gets his passive, gets the jump, and Kalu again showing why people normally ban Rengar against him.
Yopa taking some third damage as well as damage from Zeka as well. And it seems that in the end, the trade will go in favor for Yopa because he has that fervor, he has the steal coming out as well, but when he finishes up the Phantom Dancer, that is going to be huge power spike. There's the hook coming out. Gentleman is only level 5 and no flash available, so they are going to focus the support. Stenglo doesn't really do much at this point on. Kalu getting ganked on the other side of the map, but there is Bakasa coming out. Can he get the kill in return as Kalu goes down? Bakasa dealing a lot. There is the knockback coming in, but so much damage taken, and there's the ultimate from Yopa as well. 2 for 0 in favor of Asus RoG.
Did ask for that Diana combo, and that's exactly what we saw. Meanwhile, Stenglo will get hooked. Ignite goes away. At instant, Sanchez here ulting Rafa away, and will Gentleman fall? Yes, he will. Now Sanchez taking damage from Jin ultimate, but that will not be enough. And I did want to say, you asked for the Diana combo. It did happen. Diana got the knock up, and Yopa did get his ultimate off. So very nicely played. And yeah, Kalu does get shut down. So once again, Asus RoG Army taking the wheel and proving to be a very good team.
Really sneaky play now by Rafa and Sanchez. They want to stay in this bush. Stenglo has no idea what is going on. Beautiful death sentence again, and this means another kill. Stenglo just stays in place. He knows he's going down, and he accepts his death.
Yeah, he was sure they base. Exactly, yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, he did not expect it. They were waiting in the brush, and you do see Yopa once again playing very aggressively on Zeka, and Zeka will have to be careful. Equators here finding Kalu at his blue buff. Kalu just going in for some damage. Can he do enough? Meanwhile, Baksa throwing the EQ over the wall, not even being necessary, and Kalu just getting a solo kill.
Kalu knows the limits of this champion, and it was a big risk for Asus RoG Army when they decided to leave him out. And now this time around, Yopa just again aggression on the top lane, but the problem here for Asus RoG Elite, they cannot actually clone Kalu. They need Kalu on all lanes at the moment, but it's really hard for him to decide on which lanes he should go in, which lanes he should leave out, because at this point on, only mid lane is losing, but a lot of help is needed on the top lane, on the bot lane as well.
Yeah, we do see Rafa here just clearing those wards out. Having a control board in that Tri-Brush will mean that Asus RoG Elite cannot get the vision they need to keep safe from Equinator's ganks. And in the top lane again, Yopa just feeling so free playing under the enemy turret here. Kalu is rolling around top lane, but that's mostly because of the red buff soon being up, so he does want to pick that up.
Yeah, I believe that this is actually pretty good for Asus RoG Elite. They could come back from this one, even though they are in a small gold deficit. It's still, nothing is over, and now in the mid lane we might see a gank.
We do see here a Lucian going in for some damage. The exhaust going low, but Sour will take some damage, but it will not be enough. Yopa going in for a trade on Zeka. Can he do enough damage? He's just going for the dive, and will he have enough? Couple more basic attacks. One more, but Zeka flashes away, and Yopa will fall from the turret. Yes, wow. Zeka gets a solo kill.
Nice play by Zeka. Just flashes right on time and avoids some of the final damage coming out in the end. A beautiful play by him, and Yopa just a bit too aggressive, not really needed, but it seems that he was impatient and he wanted to make a play. Now, Kalu is definitely needed on this bot lane. As we see, turret is slowly going down, and again, deja vu from the first game. First turret gold is gonna go out for Asus RoG Army. The bot lane is just looking really strong, and Stenglo and Gentleman, they cannot respond to this.
Exactly, the extra gold going into the favor of Asus RoG Army. Kalu here doing so much damage to Kha'Zix, but again, it won't be enough to get a kill. He was positioned really well, and he'll just run out of there, being pretty safe.
Again, the fight continues. Kalu is in a good spot to get some kills. Sanchez is gonna get stunned by Alistar, and that's gonna mean enough. The kill goes over to Kalu again, and this is the 5th one on the board. Now,
Asus RoG Elite does feel like with those couple of kills, or rather that pressure, they do have some time to wail on that tier 1, and can they get it? They really do need this global gold, and as we do see Asus RoG Army just backing out, being aware, we did make a couple of mistakes, I'm just gonna give them this turret.
And the timing couldn't be better because the dragon is spawning at around 10 seconds. It seems that Yopa actually just went for the bot lane straight up, and he wants to go for the fight at the dragon. It is Mountain Drake, so this is really important for both teams. Asus RoG Elite definitely has the better positioning here. Can Yopa actually do something alone? Thresh is coming right from the side, and Rafa, he doesn't have flash available though, but Kha'Zix is just now on the tier 2 bot lane turret.
I don't really think this will be contested because Kha'Zix isn't there to go for the smite steal, and as you do see, Stenglo being the one that deals the final shot to the dragon, and this is going to be the 2nd dragon for Asus RoG Elite.
Yeah, but this time around, Asus RoG Army, they have a pretty good late game comp. I mean, Kalista, she's scaling really well with the attack speed and when she gets all of the items that she needs, but on the top lane, as we see Kalista just getting the turrets down, and the rotations are just better from the side of Army. I mean, they get the turret, they get the first blood gold. This time around, Asus RoG Elite, they lead in dragons, but I don't think that they will be able to use it because again, the leading word is from Asus RoG Army, and they're just looking really strong.
Yeah, exactly. Now the final tier 1 will be in that mid lane, and of course Sanchez and Rafa have their eyes out for that. They will just rotate down, most likely. Maybe they're going to try to make a trap and just win that 2v2. They've proven that they can already do that, as you do see Kalista being 4-1, but they are going to be sitting on a board, so just backing out for them.
Yeah, good board here from Asus RoG Elite, and again, now is the most important question. How are they going to answer at this point on? The mid game is coming out, and rotations are really, really important. Asus RoG Elite, they have a really fed Rengar 5-2 at this point on Kalu, and as we see on the top lane, the wave is coming out and pushing in, and because of that, Asus RoG Army, they want to make a play. They are going to go for Alistar.
Gentleman is in trouble, a beautiful hook, but Unbreakable will make sure that will not be a threat, just backing out a hook for an Alistar ultimate. I'm going to call words.
Yeah, this is definitely worth, but not really that bad of a situation for Elite as well, and in the end, it seems that Elite, they cannot make a decisive play. They need to get a pick off. If Alistar could engage, that would be an ideal situation, but it seems constantly that they are scared as Dengvo is again losing the CS, and he just wants to farm out. Of course, they have the curtain call, so he can follow up from a long distance, but they need the Kalu. He's really fed, and they need on the hunt when he goes in. They need to follow him up, and this is what actually is going to happen. Almost getting the knock up with the flash.
Sanchez here throwing Rafa into the enemy team. Gentleman will be under ignite, but it will not be enough damage to bring him down. And once again, Sanchez with beautiful flashes, flashing that Alistar combo, just simply flawless.
Yeah, it was really close in the end, but it seems that still Kalista ultimate, of course, is down, so that's gonna mean one less thing to worry about for Asus RoG Elite. Zek again trading with Yopa on the bot lane because of the online grasp. He is actually able to still be pretty good in the trade, and of course the Sound 5k. But again, this is not good for Asus RoG Elite. They lose the tier 2 turret in the top lane, and that just looks devastating to lose in the 16th minute.
Yeah, exactly the rotations we were talking about and how superior Asus RoG Army is in that aspect. They are a very, very good team. They're showing that game after game here. Yopa running away, being a little bit careful, of course. 3 of the members of Asus RoG Elite are around, so they do have to just back out for now. But again, Yopa does have a Vamp Scepter. He will actually heal up. He does have the Bilge Water complete, so eventually he's just going to be full health again and just continue split pushing in that bot lane.
As we saw right now on the split second, Zdengvo actually forced out for the flash because of Econators going onto him. And that's actually pretty smart decisions by Army. They do not want to let Zdengvo farm out on the top lanes. Now the red buff is getting contested. Kalu is going to get it with the smite, I believe, and as I said, they do not want to let Jhin farm. They just keep the lead that they created, and in the end, the great overall wave control. They know when the wave is pushing against them, they want to catch someone out when they are farming, and the really smart ideas here. Forcing the flash out from Snegbo. Now he has to be even more careful because he doesn't have that Edge of Night, so he can get easily jumped and deleted by Asus RoG Army.
Yeah, and we do have to mention this game is a lot closer. However, the gold lead will go to Asus RoG Army still just because of those rotations. And right now, that's tier 1 in the middle lane. As we were seeing it, it's getting pinged. They want that turret. They have to open up the map even further so they can actually get some deep wards in. And right now, Asus RoG Elite has, I believe, 3 pink wards on the map, control wards. So they are doing a pretty good job at defending their jungle again for now. But if that tier and when that tier 1 turret goes down, that will prove to be a lot more difficult.
Even though Bucks actually managed to get a CS lead in the mid lane, he made a small mistake with the item choice. He went for, it seems he went for, yeah, as you see here, he is actually behind in gold, but he went for the Serrated Dark and then went for the Phage, so he is actually gonna delay his Black Cleaver and delay his Yomumus as well because of the Phage, but still, he got some HP, and that's really important in this game. Now we see Cal actually just turning on the hunt and is gonna be popped in the top lane. Lucian is probably gonna go down, but he still he went down with a smile because when those eyes pop right in front of you, you can't really run anywhere from the Rengar.
Yeah, exactly, and it is a Diana. She doesn't really have any escapes. He was a little bit overextended, not having quite enough vision here. Yopa going in for some damage on Zeka, and again, he does know, I have lifesteal. All these trades after a wave, damage is gonna be gone.
Gentleman now getting hooked, and he pops Unbreakable Will right away. Actually, Yopa got deleted 1v1 by Zeka, and now Rafa gets the good hook on the Kalu. Kalu is gonna go down, shut down gold, go over to Econators, and now Baksa has something to say, and he wants to revenge his jungler. Can Zeka actually continue and get into this fight? He has TP available. There is the TP coming out from, I believe it's Lucian actually, but Zengo gets hooked and gets deleted in the end. Sanchez is gonna pick that one up. Gentleman is gonna get demolished by Lucian as well. Zeka is next on the menu, and Taste Their Fear is gonna be enough. Baksa just popping out, and he has to back away because Lucian is gonna get the kill. If he doesn't, he goes in anyways with the flash. There is the nice knockback, and he is gonna be safe. Econators cannot jump in.
Yeah, very nicely done here, and we do have to say a beautiful TP by Lucian that just positioning himself so perfectly, got a kill on Alistar, was in the right position to do even more damage, and once again, Asus RoG Army, even though the dive at the very beginning looked kinda bad for them, they made it work.
Kalu coming in with the On The Hunt, and Sanchez is right there to help his team. He actually goes on to Sanchez and gets the one kill. Can he get the triple? Kalu dealing so much damage. 1v3, triple kill, but gets killed in the end. That was almost a quadra, I would say, but not fortunate enough.
That was a truly beautiful 1v3 by Kalu, and Sanchez here. He was full health, so he was trying to block for his team against the Rengar as an AD carry. Not really a good idea. 1v4 was a little bit too much of a long shot, so not quite gonna happen. But still, Kalu 9-4-1 on that Rengar.
Oh, Zango with the big mistake. He is gonna get deleted. Lucian with the nice positioning is gonna get the solo kill again, and this is actually going to be really good. And now this time around, the top lane trade is going to go over for the other side, and Yopa is going to pick up the Panic kill.
Yeah, Yopa completed his blade against Maokai this early on into the game. Will be quite devastating. Attacking that inhibitor turret as well. Now Kalu is rotating, trying to defend it. The rest of Asus RoG Elite, I believe, got the dragon. So one more Mountain Drake, it's pretty nice, but looking at the state of the map right now, I don't think that's going to be enough.
So in this matchup, Frozen Heart is actually so needed for Asus RoG Elite. They are playing against Yasuo, who is definitely a attack speed oriented champion. Kalista as well, but even Diana in the mid lane, she needs the attack speed coming out. Those 3 attacks in teamfight are actually crucial because she gets the passive, she gets even more damage out, and because of that, I believe that Zeka is gonna go for the early Frozen Heart second item. He's just gonna skip out the Spirit Visage. Now the fight goes on to the mid lane. Baxter gets knocked out by the passive from Kalista, and Sanchez is gonna pick up yet another kill. 6-2 at this point on.
Yeah, right now Asus RoG Army looking so powerful. They grouped up mid lane. Rengar did ult, however, when they're staying as 5, it's not that easy to just jump into a whole team and try to kill somebody. You will die, and you will die fast. A hook attempt kill will miss, and Asus RoG Army is still pushing that mid lane.
They go for Znegvo, who is just getting so low, so fast, and in the end, it seems that Asus RoG Elite, they want the flank, but Asus RoG Army are just getting the first play, and Asus RoG Elite cannot answer in time. This is going to be inhibitor in the mid lane.
Yeah, perfect shot calling, perfect aggression. Asus RoG Elite tried to flank with 3 of their members, leaving their AD carry alone, and that's never a good idea. Asus RoG Army did see that, just dove straight for him, got a kill, and right now they're looking very strong. However, they do have to back out.
Zeka is really tanky at this point on. Yopa goes really low, and at the moment he gets the ultimate, somehow stays alive. Baksa from the side, he has a lot of HP, but not a lot of damage, as Zeka is the next target on the menu for Asus RoG Army. Now he gets rooted. Sanchez is gonna go down. Baxter with a nice EQ, and of course there is the curtain poke, and the 4-shot gets someone. It goes over to Lucian, and now Econators has the run away. Kalu following up, but not much after that. There is the gate coming out for the movement speed. Can Kalu get the leap? No. Actually, Kazakhs will, and Yopa just waiting for someone. There is the wall coming out, and no one can follow up. Kalu with a nice play, but not enough. Yopa getting blocked here for the W from Jin, and Diana actually going in. A lot of damage coming out. Zengo going really low. All kills going over for Asus RoG Army. Beautiful Lantern as well to get Yopa out to safety, and in the end, 4-for-1.
Yeah, that was simply beautiful. The Lantern was there right in time, and we can see the communication and how calm they are, even when they're so low on health. Rafa was just like, I got you, go in, do some damage, I will just pull you out of there, and that's exactly what happened. Meanwhile, Lucian was there with his follow-up damage on the Diana that he even had his Hourglass that he didn't use, so he felt really safe going into that 1v2, and once again, Asus RoG Army just proving to be a dominant team.
Yeah, and really underperformance by Zdengvo. 0-6-2 at this point on, and this is not really the Zdengvo that we are used to see. But again, he's playing against a great bot lane. Sanchez and Rafa again with Really good early play and showing the aggression just from the start. It seems that is a small thing, but it turns out to be great because they just snowball right after that, and in the end, Asus RoG Army, they are now in the lead around 12k gold, which is pretty good for 24 minutes. Now Rafa just clearing the boards around Baron, and Asus RoG Elite, they have to respond fast because Baron is definitely an option for Asus RoG Army.
Yeah, right now, Asus RoG Elite just looking to clear some vision and get some vision in their name. Meanwhile, Asus RoG Army, of course, controlling that Baron area, being the stronger team means you can just walk in there, place your control boards, clear the enemy boards, even walk into the enemy jungle to get some vision for yourself. And right now, Asus RoG Army, I believe, is starting a Baron.
They are going to start it. Yopa actually just trading with Zeka, and so much damage coming in from the red buff, true damage as well. It gets knocked up, but he will not follow. Baron is going to go over to Asus RoG Army, and that means Yopa is going to be happy with the Baron buff, of course, for the split push.
Yeah, it's pretty much textbook play. Meanwhile, Sanchez here ulting Rafa into Gentleman. Gentleman will take some damage, does have a breakable will for that hook. Does go in, gets the knock down. Rafa will take some damage, but Gentleman will get completely melted. And that's going to be one more kill for Asus RoG Army.
One more kill on the board, and of course, Baron buff is going to help them to finish off this game. Econator's forcing to just get out with the ultimate. Yopa, meanwhile, on the bot lane gets the kill. There is the flash actually coming in from Baxa. So much damage from Kalista, who is actually on the front line, but Kalu now coming in. Can he do anything? The answer will be no. And now Econator is just trying to do something, but all turrets are going down, and this is looking really bad for Asus RoG Elite.
Yopa here deleting Zdangbo. Zeka will be the next target falls as well. That's going to be 2 more kills for Asus RoG Army right now. Lucian just chilling in the top lane, getting one inhibitor. The first Nexus turret does go down. It doesn't really seem like Asus RoG Elite can do all that much about it. The second Nexus turret is going to go down as well very slowly, and with that, the Nexus will fall. Right now, once again, Asus RoG Army just playing beautifully.
Beautiful game, and again, a short game, 26 minutes in, but overall, this time around, Asus RoG Elite actually had a pretty good start. Kalu overall 9-5, as we see. There is another kill on the Alistar, but great game overall. More about it, of course, on the analysis.
Hello, welcome back to the studio. Well, finally we got the winner. The Team Army was definitely better at these 2 games, so congratulations. What to say? At least this game was a bit better, closer game, right? So Team Elite actually did something against Army.
Yeah, in the second game, of
Yeah.
course, Elite looked a lot stronger.
Yes.
In the early game, they actually managed to get a lead, but overall, just some great rotations by Army, and Elite was not able to follow up. They still need a lot of practice. I believe that Elite, again, they have a lot of potential with the great talent coming out, and I was actually really happy to see Zeka getting 1 kill solo on Toyopa, but that was, again, not enough for the win, and in the end, Army just showing that the practice and, of course, the experience were enough to win.
Yes. What was in your opinion, Saina?
I mean, honestly, I was pretty happy to see that in game number 2, Asus RoG Elite did adapt a little bit and they played a lot better, which obviously means they got something out of game number 1. And that's the most important thing because it's a show match and sure, you're representing your region, you know, there's some pride behind it. However, again, the most important thing is for the viewers to have fun watching the game and for the players to get something out of it. Now, this is pretty much like a public scrim, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna
is.
see, you know, the enemy strats, you're gonna learn something, and once again, that's the most important thing. So hopefully both teams, you know, got something out of this.
Yeah, this was the friendly match for the fun. So let's go from the beginning. We saw Kalu on Rengar. He was like really good at the beginning in the early game. He had really good moves. So that's actually he showed us why the Rengar is always banned when you play against him, right?
So
You agree?
yeah, of course, in the early game, great start. They went for Yopa in the first blood,
Yes.
and after that, it seemed that even though that happened, the top lane was still in favor of Yopa because of course, the Yasuo versus Maokai matchup. And it seems that even though they got the kill in the mid lane, they were not able to transition it to any place at all because the bot lane was losing so hard. So every time that they got the kill on the bot lane, Kha'Zix just went for the aggression in the top side jungle, bot side actually jungle, and went for the blue buff steal. It seems that even though Rengar was so ahead, he was not able to gank anywhere, and that was huge for Asus RoG Army.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, not really all that much to add, but as said, he did show why his Rengar is so feared. And to be fair, even though he was so far ahead, his team really wasn't at the level where they could follow it up. So yes, he was fed. Was it enough? I mean, obviously not.
Yeah. So bottom lane, comparing to the first game, how did you see this game? Also, I must admit that Rafa had like some few amazing hooks. Right?
Yeah, a beautiful death sentence is coming out from him, but again, a great early game by bot lane of Team Asus RoG Army, and they showed that they know how to play with Ignite. They go for the aggression in the early game, and they just establish the dominance. They know they are the stronger 2v2, and because of that, they just constantly put the pressure on the bot lane. If Kalu goes down there, again, Asus RoG Army, they create an answer on the top lane, so all around, beautiful team comp, beautiful play, and they know how to play around the bot lane, and because of that, I just gained a lot of respect for Asus RoG Army. I believe that their bot lane is definitely the MVP again of this match.
Yeah, I would agree. So tell me more about Yopa and Yasuo on top. How did he play?
I mean, honestly, he played pretty perfectly, not really making all that many mistakes. He did fall and give Herzblood at some point, mainly because he did use his flash early on into the game. However, as the game extended, the Phantom Dancer was done, and as soon as that day was complete, that was the end for Maokai. As a tank, he can't really do enough damage to kill the Yasuo through the mid game, and Yopa just completely went wild. So once again, a bit of a shaky early game, and he did even die one-on-one, but again, the reason why he died is because he became impatient. He was playing very aggressive under the turret. At some point, he was like, I'm done. I don't want him to be this low under turret. I'm just gonna go in for the dive, and he was just ever so slightly off with damage. Did end up paying for it, but at the end of the day, it didn't really change all that much.
Anyway, anything what happened, I mean, it was just beautiful looking again Yopa on our stream and him playing. I mean, that was just amazing. So what did you think of this friendly matches between two Asus teams? And do you think should we continue this? Do you like it? Did
Oh
you
yeah,
like it? Did you
definitely.
tweet Twitch? Did you like it? Tell me.
Oh yeah, we like it. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely a interesting matchup to see, and a lot of new things coming out. Teams could test here a lot of things that they do not really want to play in a serious match as FCS or a Spanish league. But here they went for the Katarina, they went for of course Diana, and the picks like that, Yasuo in the top lane, as we said. So really interesting to see, and of course the games are not really that serious. They do not have to win, so they get to try out. They get to see how strong the other team is, and I definitely think we should see more of the show matches like this.
So huge yes from you, right?
Huge, huge.
No, yes, Saina, I hope you agree.
I feel like I'm at the desk of maybe like Serbia Got Talent or something like that, but it's a yes from me as well. Either way,
X Factor or something
yeah,
like
exactly,
that, right?
exactly. I do love this for multiple reasons, and of course, the main one being that maybe maybe Asus RoG Army is gonna get some Serbian fans now. Maybe Asus RoG Elite is gonna get some Spanish fans, and obviously just fusing the two regions, just kind of bringing a little bit of Spain into FCS and bringing maybe a little bit of Serbia into the Spanish league. It's just beautiful. So yeah, it just promotes, it promotes just growth, and it promotes basically just people showing support from multiple regions. So yeah, I definitely love this.
Yeah, this was beautiful. Honestly, I would like to thank Asus once more for bringing us these two teams together to play this friendly game. I mean, it was really amazing. Thank you so much, and hopefully we're gonna see more of this. When you said now about the growth of this, the whole thing about League of Legends, these two regions, I hope many more. I hope we have many more viewers, even for different countries. So we would like to invite you to watch our Serbian league. I mean, I have to use this opportunity to invite everyone. Maybe you can say something more what they can see actually in our Serbian league, in our teams, and maybe they can learn something as well from Serbian league.
So yeah, a lot of teams coming in, of course, from Serbia, Croatia, and Macedonia, and really nice to see how the thing grows actually on our on our ground as well, yeah, in our region. And of course, we are still trying to reach the level to be, of course, sometimes maybe in the wild card and go for the Challenger Series. A lot of teams coming out.
Maybe one day we are LCS, you never know.
Yeah, maybe, of course. One day we go for the Worlds as the region, the Balkanic region, and we will see, of course. But great teams are coming up, and as we see now, Asus RoG Elite still trying to develop the team synergy and become the top tier team as well. So it's really good to see the teams battling it out, and of course, I believe that Fortuna Championship Series, it has a lot of potential to grow.
Yeah, Saina, maybe you can say some words.
Always. Yeah, I mean, honestly, as said, I really do love this as a whole, and more countries are joining into FCS, and more countries just getting the chance for young players to grow and find a place where they have a healthy competitive environment through the form of a league, which is something that wasn't really there before. And right now, you can be in any country and you can always play the local league. And as we did see, Yopa started here, ended up in the Spanish league. Maybe in half a year, he's going to play in LCS, maybe in Worlds, who knows? So yeah, and it's just, the dreams of so many players, now they have so many more opportunities to start. So yeah, I'm honestly just really happy about the expansion of FCS.
Yeah. I just love everything you say every time. So Fortuna Esports, thanks once more for bringing this opportunity to us to host this beautiful match. Of course, Asus Elite, and to my colleagues for this beautiful cast, thank you so much. This was Milošinović Saina, Danilo Badnjar Choda. You can track them on Facebook, on Fortuna Facebook page. And also, if you're interested in Fortuna Championship Series, you can visit our website, fortunaesports.com. My name was Jelena Savić Rapunzel, and hopefully we'll see you in the next show match. Bye.